Okay, we are live and we'll record also here. Here we go. Hello, and welcome to the Mass Media Tribe Meetup event online on the 4th of August 2021. It's fantastic to have you here today and see so many new faces. It really is brilliant. For those that don't know what Mass Media Tribe is about, this is an event that I started as a physical meetup. We actually had events on the Gold Coast and in Brisbane since 2018, and we were doing monthly events with different guest speakers at both those physical venues up until COVID. And then of course COVID hit March 2020 here on the Gold Coast, and so all the events went online, and last year we did events every fortnight. And this year we're doing them monthly. My name is Aldwyn, Altuney. I'm the host of Mass Media Tribe events, and it's something I wanted to do to help give back to the community, to help people market themselves and help people in a very cost-effective way to actually help them get their message out and to help them build the courage to step up with what they do. And when I say cost effective, the physical events were around $15, $20 roughly to come to a physical event. Now, of course, it's all free. So there's no excuses, right, not to come to these. They really are brilliant events. And we've had some extraordinary speakers from all over the world. And now with the beauty of COVID, of course, is now that we can do that a lot easier now with the online world. We can connect with people from all over the world. And in the chat, we've had some of you hopefully put in here where you're from. There we are. We've got people right now from, we've got Virginia's in Coolangatta, fantastic, right near the border. Elena is Beanley. Well, we've got Clearwater, Florida. Barbara, welcome. Singapore for Shika, fantastic. Nero from Singapore. Efrozini from Melbourne. That sounds like a great Greek name, I must say. I'm actually Greek Orthodox as well, from Melbourne. Sim, we've got Gold Coast. Paul, Balambal Heights, right near the border too. And we've got Tri-Breath. Hello, the Tri-Breath crew, Gold Coast. We have Julie from Bigger Waters, Carolyn from Perth, fantastic. And we have Sofia from Newcastle, fantastic. Welcome, welcome, wherever you are joining us from and watching this on Facebook right now. Where are you watching from? Just pop into the comments. So fantastic to connect with you. And I'm so grateful that we can reach out like this. Now, I am Aldwyn Altuney and I'm known as the Media Queen. I'll share a little bit in my presentation today on free publicity and how to get free publicity. I've actually worked in the media for over 30 years, and I'm really passionate about inspiring more truth and good news in the mass media. We are certainly in exciting times right now, and some ways daunting times as well. Now, you're either coping with this right now, coming from a fear base, which a lot of people have been, and what's been happening with those coming from that fear space with what is happening with COVID and all these things we cannot control with what the government's doing and lockdowns, etc. Those coming from fear space are going to not have a great experience of life right now. Whereas those coming from a loving space, and I do have my little love heart here, and I'm all about sharing love. I think there's two places we come from, fear and love. And just notice in any moment with the conversations in your head and what you are noticing in what's going on in the mass media as well right now, with so much censorship happening on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. There's a lot of censorship around anything that goes against what the government is saying right now. So what's happening is we're in changing times with the world of mass media. We have alternative news outlets opening up that are sharing more truth and sharing more of the information we're not seeing in the mainstream media. Now, having worked as a journalist behind the scenes for many, many years, I've worked in TV, radio, and print. I can tell you that we're not always getting the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help us God. However, do your own research on that. I always suggest question everything that you are seeing in the mainstream media and always come from a loving space, even if people have different opinions to you. Very important to respect other people and respect yourself at this time, because this anger and division that is happening a lot in the community at the moment, I believe that we each need to step up and take responsibility for our part in that, because every message we share out there makes a difference, right? We're either lifting the energy with what we do or we're bringing it down. And so I encourage you to get conscious to what you are thinking at any moment, and do your own research with everything. Now, of course, vaccinations are very topical right now. Now, even just mentioning that word, I'm sure you'll have an opinion about it, right? I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole today. However, please do your own research with everything, okay? Please do your own research. And if you want to have a discussion about that, there are some great websites that you can look at, such as BitChute is a great one that a lot of people may not know about. A lot of people communicating on Telegram. There's all sorts of these alternative media channels now where you can get alternate information. And I do encourage you to do that, look that up. So I'm going to talk more about myself a little bit later, but basically that's what this is about. We do have the amazing Brad Delaney with us today. He's known as the headshot guy. He's going to be presenting a great segment on being photogenic is teachable. Now, who here, by show of hands, I'd love to see your physical hands, who here hates having their photo taken? Can I have a show of hands there? Who hates? Yes, Sandra. Yep, thank you. Julie, Sofia, Sim. Yes, a few of you hate having your photo taken. We're going to love this today because Brad is all about this is a teachable thing. And actually my background too, I'm actually a photojournalist by trade. So I've done a lot of different photography and everyone has their own styles with photography. And it's interesting how when people say, oh, I always look awful in my photos. And what they do is they tend to pull a face. Would you agree with this, Brad? They kind of pull this face like, don't take my photo. I always look awful in photos, right? And then it's a matter of, a lot of it is actually getting comfortable with the photographer and being comfortable enough to actually relax and let that conversation go, because 80% of anything we do is often in the head, right? Like it's like if you think of the iceberg, right, that our conscious brain is up here where we've got all this stuff going on in the head, and then there's big subconscious area here where often we're not tapping into, we're not conscious of our subconscious. So it's getting conscious where we have been unconscious to certain conversations going on in our head around marketing, around photos, around messaging, all of that kind of thing, right? So if you want to make a difference in the world, it's important to obviously step up and share that with the world. So now I'd love to go around the Zoom room and hear from the beautiful people here today. For those who would like to share, I'll just go around from who I can see on my screen. If you want to pass, just say pass. But what I'd love to hear from you is just your name, what you do, and what you'd like to get out of this session here today. So I'll start over with my good friend Paul over there. Paul, I know you've always got something to say, so we'll start with Paul and we'll go around then to Sofia. If you could just unmute yourself and share, that would be wonderful. Thank you, Paul.
G'day, Aldwyn. Just trying to.
Hello.
I don't use this technology that often. I try not to do too many Zooms because I'm always on my bum in front of my computer anyway all day. So it's great to join you. This is a topic that I'm really interested in. Sometimes I get in front of a camera, or I try to whenever I can. So I just want to learn a little bit more about that. And also I noticed that if I want to get a good photo of myself, so they're very rarely taken. So I don't know if it's the camera operator or if it's me not presenting myself so well. So I'm just really interested to see, what's coming up today.
So a combination of a few things. And Paul, for those who don't know you, just what you do for those who don't know you.
Well, I've been very active with issues around banking. So at the Royal Commission, the banks got a lot of bad media because they were committing all sorts of crimes. So they're forging people's documents. That they forged my documents. Just a whole lot of disgusting behaviour. In fact, I'm just trying to do a deal now with ANZ Bank, which is for my own case, but I've been trying to help other people as well who have had all sorts of horrible things done to them by the banks.
Yes, bank fraud. In fact, Paul gets a mention in my free Publicity Secrets masterclass. He's a property investor. I refer to you as a property investor who's taking on the banks, who's fighting the banks for fraud. And he's appeared in A Current Affair. He's been in the media and the bulletin all over. He's arrested the ANZ Bank for fraud. He's done some amazing publicity stunts. And it's interesting, Paul, you're kind of underplaying yourself a little bit here, but I think you're extraordinary with what you've done taking on the banks. And you do have some Facebook groups. Please pop those links in the chat for anyone who perhaps has had some bank fraud or who wants to find out more about what they can do with this. Please connect with Paul, and you never know, there could be others here, or you might know someone who's had issues with banks, then reach out to Paul and his community.
Yeah, look, very likely if you've got a mortgage, it's quite likely that the bank would have had done some sort of fraud, usually on your application form. So I'll stick that link into the chat.
Yes, beautiful, Paul. Thank you so much. All right, let's go to Sofia now. And of course, Paul is at Balambal Heights, which is near the border of Queensland, New South Wales. Welcome, Paul. All right, Sofia, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Aldwyn. And this is my first time in your tribe meeting, which is really, really wonderful. I'm Sofia from our Sacred Feminine community, all Sacred Feminine tribes as well. So I'd love to talk to you more about your tribe later. So why am I here? Well, I have the honour of being born into a body with a genetic condition, and I have a very unique look. So I'm always after tips because I do a lot of Zoom stuff. I do a lot of photograph stuff. So I'm always after tips.
Excellent, excellent, Sofia, fantastic. And where are you joining us from?
Newcastle.
Oh, Newcastle, brilliant. Welcome from the home of Silverchair, wasn't it? Silverchair.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Silverchair was from Newcastle. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, which is just north of Sydney, a few hours north of Sydney, for those who don't know.
On the right side of the lake. So we're not in lockdown. On the other side of the lake, they're in lockdown.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I've got a nephew who lives in Newcastle, actually, and my brother's in Gosford. So I've got family down your way. So welcome, Sofia. Fantastic to hear from you, and welcome for all the first timers here. Who else is first time here at the Mass Media Tribe? Who else is first time? Show of hands. Beautiful. Una, Barbara, Elena, Virginia. Shika, I think, is first time. Sim, yep, wonderful, fantastic, thank you, awesome, welcome, welcome. First Efrazini, welcome, first time, brilliant. We have a lot of virgins in the room, yay. I feel I should play that Madonna song, Like a Virgin. Anyway, we won't play that, and I won't be singing today either, so we'll just stop right there and move on to the next person I can see here. All right, let's go to Julie, the amazing Julie Hogan. Haven't seen you for ages. Just share your name, what you do, and what you want to get out of today, Julie. Let's unmute yourself there. Ask to unmute. Here we go.
There we go. Hi, I'm Julie Hogan. I'm known as the Holistic Healer, thanks to Aldwyn. I'm so grateful for that. I'm an author. I have just finished an Oracle Soul Coaching certificate, which is fantastic. I'm also a hypnotherapist and psychotherapist. I'm here today just to get some tips on how to present myself. And I want to say I'm grateful today for the beautiful sunshine we've got up here. It's just amazing.
Wonderful. Thank you, Julie. Welcome. Julie joined our Mass Media Mastery program last year, I think it was, Julie. Last year, yeah.
In lockdown, when lockdown first started.
Yes, when lockdown started, what I did is I felt in my gut when I saw COVID news, I felt in my gut there's something not right about this, and I felt like a rocket up my backside to help people share more truth and good news in the world. And I started to do webinars called How to Gain Free Publicity During COVID. And I think it was one of those you hopped on, Julie, in the early days.
Yes.
And promoted the Mass Media Mastery program, which has been awesome. So great to, and you know what happens often when we work so closely with people is we become friends. You know, it kind of feels like we're a community of friends now, and not just clients. You know, it becomes more than that, which is beautiful. Thank you, Julie. Welcome, welcome. All right, next up we have the amazing Virginia Walker. Love to hear from you, Virginia. Virginia's one of our Speakers Tribe Queensland leaders, and we actually have an event tonight as well. If you don't know about that, we'll let you know about that too. Virginia.
Hi, Aldwyn. Hi, everyone. So Virginia Walker, I love enabling workplaces where people thrive. And so I'm a consultant, I mentor in leadership and change, and I specialize in working with executives of disability service providers so that they can grow, prosper, and live their why. So what I'd like to get out of today is I always look at myself on Zoom and just about have one of those depressing moments, you know, it's like, how do I look that bad? And so I am here. So I'm here to see if I could improve that situation. I am incredibly grateful that in working for home that I have a beautiful place to work from. So that's what I'm grateful for every day. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Virginia. Thank you for your honesty, because I know there'll be other people who also look at themselves sometimes in the mirror or on Zoom and say, oh my goodness, what happened, right? Or where did those lines come from? Oh my goodness, the more gray hairs, or, you know, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's had these kind of conversations and you know, had to stop myself and go, no, Aldwyn, you're beautiful. And, you know, here's a stretch project for you, is to look at yourself in the mirror, in your eyes, and say, I love you. I truly, truly love you. And you know, mean it, right? Mean it, say it until you mean it, right? I love you, I truly, truly love you. It's something that can be very challenging for people. However, the thing is, you are 1 in a billion just by being born. You beat 1 billion other swimmers to get to the finish line. Okay, it's between 400 million, 1.2 billion to be precise. It depends how excited your parents were at the time. We don't really want to go there. However, you are 1 in a billion just by being born, right? You are extraordinary exactly as you are. You are perfect just as you are. So I want to send that love to you today, for everyone watching this and for everyone on the Zoom, so that you know that you are special and that you are aging beautifully. And in fact, with every birthday, you are living longer. So celebrate the birthdays, celebrate the birthdays, because, you know, it just shows wisdom, and the more wisdom you have, the more you can also share that with others. So thank you, Virginia, for that. I'm sure there's other people here who also feel that as well. All right, let's keep moving around the Zoom room, and feel free to pop any questions, comments in the chat as well. Send some love to the other people here, or if you want to connect with anyone as you're listening to other people, please reach out. We're all about helping to support each other here at the Mass Media Tribe events. Okay, let's go over to Una. Una, are you happy to share there? Una. Una, I think Anna, you say Anna actually, don't you? Anna.
Yeah, Anna.
Anna,
Yeah.
not Una.
Hello.
Anna.
Hello,
Hello.
everyone. I just found out about this seminar, or whatever you call it, an hour ago, and thought, that sounds like something I need to get on board with, because often I'm on the other side of the camera, not in front of the camera, and it would be great to be able to help Brett, my partner, you know, feel more comfortable in front of the camera. And we tried taking some headshots. Well, no, we took some headshots last week, and it wasn't that easy. So yeah, that's why I'm here today, and I'm grateful today for the sun. It's a beautiful day on the Gold Coast, and yeah, and for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. And Anna is the partner of Brett Hayes, and we did a great interview yesterday actually on Media Queen TV, all about the dangers of mask wearing and things to look out for if you are going to wear a mask, some things to be aware of, that a lot of people have been suffocating, particularly if you're running and wearing a mask, not advised, okay, because you can suffocate and potentially die. Also, you will gain weight when you wear a mask, and we talked about the ins and outs and the science of that in this interview. So if you're wondering if you've been gaining weight wearing a mask, well, this is potentially part of it, because you're not breathing, and a big part of the elimination part of the body is actually with breathing. And so if we're not breathing out effectively or breathing in effectively, you're actually harming the body in other ways. And so we did a great 1.5 hour interview yesterday with Brett. So you can check that out on Media Queen TV on YouTube if you want to find out more about that. Very, very interesting interview. Thank you, Anna. Beautiful. Now, Elena, I can see you next. Are you happy to share there? Just unmute yourself. You're happy to share? And
yeah,
yes, hello.
I am. Thank you. Yeah, first time in the session, and also found out 10 minutes before it started after coming off another Zoom. Sorry, so my name's Elena, and I run the Your Pathways Coach Soul Trading, where I offer end-of-life navigator services and, you know, deliver authentic care, both to the person with the end-of-life diagnosis or their carers, just supporting in areas of legacy making and end-of-life documentation and funeral planning and vigiling. So the reason that I thought this would be, you know, ideal, so thank you very much for making it available, Gary, because I've even heard of your company, so it's great, is really twofold. I'm going to be, you know, I find myself more on Zoom, face-to-face, really quick, you you know, they can be very long conversations or very short meetings, and I find cameras around all the time, and I'm being very conscious about that. As I've transitioned from black dye to natural grey hair, and as I'm, you know, transitioning from my 40s into my late 50s, there's been changes that I haven't actually really noticed until I've seen myself on camera so much in the short period of time. So that I just wanted to be a little bit more comfortable about. I also wanted, knowing that I'm going to be documenting the family stories or legacy stories, I wanted some tips and hints on, well, I'm hoping to get out of that, how to help other people feel comfortable in a setting when I'm documenting, you know, a moment in their time, how to make that the best without being a professional and without having a professional camera, how to help people who are conscious that do have those, oh, don't take a photo of me moments, be happy for me to take a snap, where then it becomes more of a memory that after the person passes, it might be the one photo that you know, I can capture for them, and I want to do it well. So thank you for that the time.
Wonderful, Elena. And where are you joining us from?
Oh, just been in Beenleigh. So that's between Brisbane and Gold Coast corridor.
Beautiful. Welcome, Elena. Do I say Elena?
Elena.
Oh, Elena.
Yeah.
That's a Greek name too. Greek name too, isn't it?
Italian.
Italian.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Nice. We have a very multicultural mix here today.
We do.
Fantastic. Well, welcome. I'm sure we're going to cover that today. Brilliant. Brad, do you want to introduce yourself now? Just do a little intro.
There you go. Just unmute myself. Hi, guys and girls. Great to see so many smiling faces here. I'm Brad Delaney. I call myself the Headshot Guys. I'm based at Robina on the Gold Coast, and I also have a space in 8 Mile Plains, which is just a little bit south of Brisbane, about 10 minutes south of Brisbane. So I'm going to chat to you today, obviously, so I won't take up too much more of your time. I'm going to concentrate today, obviously. I've heard a number of people talk about Zoom, which I think, obviously, it would be remiss of me now that so many people have mentioned it, that I didn't give you some ideas and tips about how to use Zoom more effectively. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not an expert at the mechanics of Zoom, but certainly one of the things that I try and encourage people to do is to think about how they look, you know, on the screen in their Zoom and what they can do to help them look a little bit better. Obviously, that's not the main topic of what I'm going to talk about today. Obviously, I'm a headshot photographer, and that's the main guts of what I do. But obviously, the topic is, and this is a core belief of mine, being photogenic is teachable. It's a skill that you can learn. And I have 3 goals out of any photographic session that I do. The first one is to create good images. That's a given. That's why people come to me and they come into my studio. The second one is to provide a good experience, because I firmly believe that most of my clients, 99.9% of my clients, would probably prefer to be going to the dentist and be coming in having a close-up headshot taken, because I just know the fact that most people don't want to have a close-up headshot taken, and I get it. But my third goal out of any session is to give people some skill, so that anytime anybody sticks a camera in their face, they've got a little bit of an idea about what to do, and it's not going to freak them out as much as it has historically. So that's what you're in store for today once Aldwyn gives me the opportunity to go ahead. So hopefully that's going to provide, you know, enough information for you guys to go away and sort of practice some stuff and get back onto Zoom. And like I said, as I'm sitting here listening to you introduce yourself, I'm coming up with some ideas, and I'm looking at some of the screens going, oh, okay, well, this person needs to do this and this person needs to do that just with Zoom. So I'm going to add that on at the beginning. I hope Aldwyn's okay with that, because obviously I can see a couple of things already where people might need and it's not going to be dramatic, it's just going to little tweaks that will just make you look better on Zoom. So hang around, that's coming up next.
Wonderful. Fantastic, Brad. Excellent. And I have a few tips too I'd like to share, but I might wait to see what you share and then see if I add anything at the end. So I'll leave that for you. Wonderful, Brad. Thank you so much. Now, next up, I can see in order on my screen, we've got Barbara. Barbara, are you happy to share? Just unmute. There we go.
I found you on an email that came with meetup meetings. And so I've not ever been in a meetup, but this, it wasn't like I had to go out somewhere to meet people in a strange place or something. And photography, well, when I was a teenager, I was a church photographer, but I'm always taking pictures. I've been in real estate for 35 years here in Clearwater, Florida. And I cover all the state of Florida with real estate. So I'm taking pictures of homes a lot. And I want my pictures always to look like the reality. So many photographers blow it up and it doesn't look like they are. So that's my feeling. But the other thing is I have my doctorate degree in pastoral clinical counseling, and I specialize and take delight in setting women free from traumas, sexual, physical, emotional abuse. And the thing that I want to do both with real estate and with that is being able to do short little videos, to be able to post them with little things. And I've tried it with starting with the real estate. I've got other scripts written out, but I don't like the way I come across. I mean, the way I look when my voice is okay, but the way I look. So that was thinking, what do I do? So,
yes.
That way. So that was the thing that intrigued me. I'm thinking, well, maybe I can learn some tips for doing my selfie videos, to put on the media that I've been suggested to me to do.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So thank you very much.
Thank you for mentioning that, Barbara, and welcome all the way from Clearwater, Florida. Wow, fantastic. I was there a few years ago. I have family in that area. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. So welcome all the way from over there. And I'm sure Brad would have some tips on that, because a lot of people are doing selfies now, and they're doing selfie photos, selfie videos, and there certainly is a whole art form to doing that well and to looking good on camera, whether you're doing photos or videos. So hopefully Brad will cover that. You'll cover some of that, Brad, will you, whether it's photos or videos today? Yes, he will. Excellent. Fantastic. You are in the right room, Barbara. Fantastic. Well, welcome. Right Zoom room, I should say.
One thing I can ask is that some of y'all have an accent. I mean, I know I have a New York accent, even though I'm in Florida, because I spent 35 years in New York. Okay. But if you could just kind of, when you say where you're from or a little bit, is slow down a little bit and talking.
Yes. So you can track us. Well, we'll get these photos up on social media, and I'll tag as many of you as I can. So please do reach out. If we're not connected on Instagram, on Facebook or Twitter yet, reach out so I can tag you, particularly on Instagram and Facebook. And then that way you'll be able to find everyone else here or anyone you want to connect with and reach out. So yes, thank you, Barbara. Thank you so much. I love your accent. I must say, love it. I know we're not the ones with the accents. You were the accent, right? All right, fantastic. Now we've got Nero next. Nero, the beautiful Nero, who's chatting to someone in the background. Here she is. Nero, just unmute yourself. Nero and I had a great interview too recently. Welcome, Nero.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Nero Gupta, and I'm joining from Singapore. I run two companies. One is called KitKat Events and Marketing, where we do all sorts of different events, forums for women. We do book launches as well. We do corporate events, basically a large variety of events. And then the other company that I run is called Global Influencers Publishing House. And my partner, Shika, is also on the call. So we're partners on both of these companies. And with that, we publish a lot of new authors. We are doing co-authored books. Our first book, in fact, just became a bestseller, which is called My Voice, and I'll probably share the details for that. And it's so exciting to be here. I actually like getting my pictures taken. And I will be about, oh, I don't like this angle, I don't like that angle. So I am a bit like that, but I do enjoy getting my pictures taken. But of course, I know there's still a lot to be learned, and that's why I'm here today.
Yes, wonderful, Nero. Thank you so much for joining us. And I have a chapter coming up in one of your books, and there's an opportunity there for anyone who does want to be in a compilation book. My Voice is amazing. What these ladies do is extraordinary. I'm in about 11 compilation books, and the beautiful Ashutosh Kant, a mutual friend and relative actually of Neera's, who put me onto Nero from Speakers Tribe India, he says that I'm going for the Guinness Book of Records for the most number of compilation books. So just some of them that I'm in. For example, I have them right here. This is just some of them. This one here, this one here. These are just some, right? One on suicide, where I talked about 4 of my friends have taken their own life. Visions of Success. This one here. Oh, that was the one I showed you before. And Undefeated is one I did with Speakers Tribe, and so many others. So I love compilation books. They are such a powerful marketing tool to be able to share your message with your people and all the other people that are sharing with their people. It's exponential marketing at its best. While it is fantastic to have your own book, of course, as well, completely your own book for branding, there's nothing quite like a compilation book for the reach that you will get and the co-creation of a compilation book. So I absolutely love it. And I've sent a few people your way, Nero and Shika, and thank you for having me as a guest at your event recently too. That was fantastic. So thank you, Nero. And over to Shika now. We may as well go to your business partner here, go to Shika and hear from you. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shika Sarkar. I'm actually coming from Singapore, and I'm Neera's business partner. So she's already spoken about what we do, so I don't need to repeat that. Thank you, Neera, for that. And thank you, Aldwyn, to invite us for this beautiful event, and really looking forward to see what we can learn from being photogenic, because I think every day, the kind of work that we're doing, we're always in front of the camera. We're doing a lot of Zoom events every month. And I would love to learn about something to do with the lighting, because we are always struggling with the lights, when we are on the Zoom, because, because we're all working from home. So my house, the lighting is not correct. We are not looking proper. There's always a reflection on our face, because both Neera and I wear spectacles. So I don't know how we're going to do. And this is where we take the pictures, right? Through our either phones or whatever. So I'm really looking forward to this session. And thank you, Aldwyn, for being part of our My Voice Volume 2. And we're really, really looking forward to your story. And I would love to share a link of My Voice Forum, which is a Facebook private group for women specifically, where like-minded women can talk about a lot of things. I mean, there are challenges, there are issues. We share a lot of our events. So I would urge each one of you, especially women, to be part of this group. I'm just sharing the links, so hopefully you can join us and be a part of My Voice event, which happens every fortnightly on a Wednesday. And I know we can share our events with you guys. Thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm happy to be here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Shika. And that's what this is all about, supporting each other. So for anyone else here too, if you have any Facebook groups or anywhere where we can connect with you and join your communities and support you that way, or support each other, please do pop them into the chat links. And for anyone who does want to be in the My Voice book, are you looking for more authors coming up for your next book currently? Where are you at with number 2? Nero?
So we're good with number 2, but we are looking for authors for number 3, and we're right now literally doing that. So if anybody is interested in writing for a co-authored book, please do get in touch with us.
And now, is it just women, or are you doing one for men as well?
So right now, the My Voice series is just for women, and perhaps later this year we'll come up with something that is for men and women together.
Wonderful. Okay, great. Perfect. Fantastic. Look, I think it's great that women have women time and that men have men time, and then that we come together, just like in the old tribal days where the women would go out gathering, the guys would go out hunting, and they come back and celebrate around the fire and dance and dress up and do crazy things together. So I think it's very normal for that to happen, and it's a good thing for women to have women time and men to have men time, and then to come together as well. Thank you so much. Awesome. Okay, who we go to next here? Who else would like to share? Now, Sim, Susan, Alison, and Sarah, I'm not sure if you're, oh, we've got someone there's come on. Here we go. Sim, I can see your face. Sim, would you like to share and come off mute there and just share your name and what you do and what you want to get out of today?
Yes, I'm very happy to do that. I only switched it off because nobody needs to see me eat a sandwich.
Just speak a bit closer into your mic there, Sim. Just there we go.
I don't know what's going on with my microphone. Anyway, I'm sorry, I had turned that off because nobody needed to see me eat a sandwich. So I am grateful to be here also. I am also another latecomer to the party on this. It just happened to fit in after my meeting this morning. I happened to have this and I thought, that's great. I loved the word that you put the word teachable in what you said, because I'd like to consider I'm teachable. And also I'm glad that it's considered something that can be taught, because I've never known how to look good in a photograph. And I'm one of those people that always tries to avoid them just because, one, I don't know what I'm doing, and two, I've just never felt comfortable with it. So I'm really pleased to have that, and that you consider it teachable. So I'm very willing to learn, which is great. So I am a writer and an editor. So if you're stuck with words, I'm your woman that can help with that. I spend a lot of my time working on major government infrastructure bids. So I'm currently working on a schools project down in Melbourne, and I've done roads and tunnels and things like that. So big things like that. But I'm just interested in words. I just love words. So if you're struggling with your words or grammar on writing is what I meant to say. Reach out. I'd love to be able to help anyone. So very keen to hear on the My Voice books. They sound very interesting.
Beautiful, Sim. And Sim, can you just look to your right a little bit, because we're over this way. There we are. Hello.
Yes, I'm sorry. It's because I've got my my camera on the other screen.
Got
it. Are all appearing on the screen next to me. So I apologize for that. Yes, and my strategic camera in my laptop is for some reason only above my keyboard, and generally all you get is a shut up my nostrils, which is not flattering either. So I'm sorry. Yes, I work on different screens, so I apologize for that.
All good. All good. Well, this can happen, right, with multiple devices. You know, we're looking somewhere, we don't realize we're actually seeing the side of your face. So that's why I just thought I'd just say that.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I will look at my camera and focus towards that, so you can see all of me then.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Sim, and welcome. Welcome along. Now, who else would like to share? I'm not sure. I can't see all your faces. Sandra, yes, over to you, Sandra. Sandra Hayward, welcome.
Hi, Aldwyn. Hi, everyone. So I'm on the Gold Coast as well. Although it's a very sunny day, I'm feeling a bit chilly today. Unlike Sunday, it was so warm. I'm a coach and hypnotherapist, and I love helping people to live their best lives, with a special interest in women who are in a transitional stage of their life and not quite sure what the next steps that they want to take. It's a power. I'm hearing an echo back on myself. So I think I'm a bit like a lot of others here. I've never been keen on photos being taken of myself. I'm getting better. Finding myself more and more in front of a camera, and of course whenever I'm with Aldwyn, she's always doing selfies of us. Yes. And yeah, I'm just interested in picking up some tips on how to be more photogenic, and I'm grateful for technology that we can all be here, and also working from home. I see my clients online, so technology is very important to me.
Wonderful, thank you, Sandra. And what you do? Did you share what you do there? I don't think we heard that.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did. Okay, I didn't hear that. I was sidetracked. Okay, for those who don't know what you do,
so I'm a coach and hypnotherapist.
Oh yes. Okay.
And helping people to live their best lives. So if they're stuck and I help them move to where they want to be.
Got it, got it. I was listening out for the Norwex. Are you still doing Norwex?
Oh yes, I'm doing Norwex as well. I'm
Okay.
also a Norwex consultant, so helping people to reduce the use of chemicals in their homes and creating healthier homes. So I do a bit of both.
Beautiful, beautiful. Sandra, welcome.
All about improving quality of life.
Yes, absolutely. And Sandra and I are part of an amazing group called Tuesdays on Tedder, which is a fantastic group with Karen Clark and Moana Robinson here on the Gold Coast. So if you haven't heard of that, it is a wonderful group that meets online and also offline when lockdown is not happening. There's a once a month physical meeting on the Gold Coast too, where you can meet a lovely group of ladies. So yes, welcome. Great to see you, Sandra.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. All right, so who else would like to share? Those that haven't shared. Sarah, I can see you've just taken yourself out of the black box. Welcome.
Hi, thanks. I've just got back from a walk, so I'm like a bit, so that's keeping the camera off. But I've just joined. I do a little bit of photography and I do improv comedy and getting photos. As I've aged, it's one of those things where I'm gained weight that I don't actually enjoy taking photos of myself. So just trying to find out, techniques on making a photo work for me, especially when they're needed for business and things like that as well.
Awesome. Welcome, Sarah. And this is your first time?
Yes, it is.
Are you happy to share your last name so that we can find you on social media, like maybe rename yourself?
Oh, yeah. I'm a friend of yours.
Okay. Well, there's probably a lot of Sarahs on there. So if you could put your surname next to you, that'd be for the tagging. And for anyone who is on Instagram, sometimes I have trouble finding people on Instagram. So if you do have an unusual Instagram tag or something, then pop that into the chat there, your Instagram link, so that I can find you and tag you there as well. Beautiful. Welcome, Sarah. Fantastic. Great to have you here. And now, Susan, would you like to share? Alison, I don't know if you are hearing us or if you're running around the house. We'll just give you a second to come on if anyone else would like to share. Anyone else? Going once, going twice. Just take yours, Susan. I can see you've come off mute. Are you happy to show your face, Susan? Oh, there we are.
Yeah. Hi. Yay. Trying to get to a quiet place. Hi, my name is Susan Wanma, and thanks everyone for sharing your concerns. So I've had some interesting insights into myself recently going through old photos, and I've come to terms with aging and looking different and that kind of thing. So I'm okay with that. Not when I see it, but I process it. But what I've discovered is that when I facilitate a group, my face gets really stern and really serious. And so the photos I have of myself look friendly and smiling. If I'm facilitating a group, I seem to look okay to my eyes. I seem to look okay. Not my best photos, but if a photographer photographs me, we can pick out some good ones because they're professionals. But what I've looked at is that when people have taken candid shots of me facilitating, I can be talking about something and my eyebrows can be up and I can look really skeptical, or because my face is very mobile, I'll have my eyebrows up and my mouth will be down and I'll look as if I'm really, disgusted with somebody, like those really bad emotions, right? Or just stern, because I'm really trying to focus and hold space for people. And then that pulls the muscles of my face down. So when I'm talking, it's okay. But when I'm listening and focusing, it's not. So if you have any tips around that, I would love to know. That's both for photos and Zoom as well, as Brad said, because if I'm conscious of that, then I'm not focusing on the group or the topic. And I don't want to just smile all the time because it's not authentic to what I'm presenting.
Yes, excellent.
And
Thank you, Susan.
Fluffy hair, so I can't use Zoom backgrounds or anything like that. And I can't do cutouts of photos because it doesn't work for hair like this. So, yeah, but that's a side issue.
Yes, yes. And yeah, good point. And oh my goodness, my cat is about to walk over my screen. Okay, excuse me just one moment. My cat literally jumped up. I have a studio set up here at home, and behind me, see this here? This is the sun coming through my green screen. So that kind of thing can happen. See, I'll just move forward a little bit and we'll just tweak things a little bit. My cat has food. He has plenty of food, but he just wants attention and love. So I have my cat wandering around behind.
I love it.
I have to show you now. Just give me one moment. I'll show you.
And that is what I love about how things have changed from how professional used to be perceived. Beautiful.
This is Tiger. Hello. He wants
to
be
Tiger.
You're part of the live stream. Now, Tiger was adopted 12 years ago. He had high anxiety and now he just loves cuddles. He's the most beautiful cat. And it's funny, whenever I get on, whenever I get on a live stream, he just wants to be part of it. He's a little star cat. So, so there you go. So I just had to. He was literally about to walk across the laptop. Sometimes he just nests himself inside the laptop, and I think he's just trying to say, just get off the computer for once, will you?
Absolutely.
Anyway, so I digress. Thank you, Susan, for your intro. And please remember, put in the chat, put your links and how we can connect with you as well. And anyone watching on Facebook too, we've had a few hellos on Facebook. For those watching on Facebook, you can come and join the Zoom. We're going for about another hour and a bit. So come and join us, and we are going to have some giveaways at the end, but you need to be in the Zoom room to have a chance to. If anyone wants to donate some prizes at the end too and introduce your prize, you're welcome to do that. So if you have something you'd like to offer to our amazing people here, then you'll have an opportunity at the end. Fantastic. All right, Susan, great to hear from you. Now, who else do we have? Anyone else want to share? This is your last chance. Anyone else? We've heard from just about everyone, I think. Otherwise, everyone's shared. Okay. Well, maybe Alison doesn't want to share, but that's okay. You can pop in the chat as well. Just pop what you do in the chat and any links that you'd like to share. If you've got an event coming up, please do pop that in there too. I'd love to support you with whatever you've got coming up. And I applaud you. I acknowledge you for being on this Zoom right now, because, you know, while others are sort of curling up and maybe, you know, sleeping through this COVID and hoping that it's all going to go away, others are being proactive and taking action and working on their businesses and going out there and inspiring others, etc. And that takes something. It takes something when it's primarily a negative world out there right now with how a lot of people are thinking. It takes something to come from a positive viewpoint. And you know, the way I look at it is things can always be worse. Things can always be worse. I'm so grateful every day for what I have. I'm grateful for a fully functioning body, for my family, for my health, for you here today. There is so much to be grateful for. And it is proven scientifically that gratitude improves your life on multiple levels. There's a lot of stories about this online. The more you can get into gratitude, the better. Now, you might know about energetic frequencies. Enlightenment is 700 megahertz, is the highest frequency you will feel. Love and gratitude is at 540. It's one of the highest vibrations you will feel. When you get into sadness and anger, you're down at 150. Okay, so you're actually affecting your physiology, your body, and the energy that you will feel and those around you will feel. So I encourage you to get conscious to where your energy is at in any moment. And of course, there's going to be times where we're feeling up or we're feeling low or whatever. But if you want to attract more opportunities to yourself, then as much as possible, come from love, come from gratitude for everything we have. There's always opportunity in every adversity, always. Just whether we choose to see it or not, right? Okay, I'm going to share my screen now and share a quick presentation on how to get publicity. And we'll have a look at some of, we've got some donations coming through. Lovely, Virginia, thank you so much. We'll come around to that at the end. So any donations you have, pop them in the chat and we can give some away at the end. That would be wonderful. All right, I will share screen now. And just make sure you can see this now. Can everyone see this here? Can you see that? Just wave or say yes or something in the chat. Yes, you can see that. Okay, wonderful. All right. Okay, so I'm going to share how to gain free publicity at the Mass Media Tribe Meetup here today. Now, there is a journey that we go on when it comes to getting publicity or putting ourselves out there. Now, why would you want free publicity? Well, if you are doing any paid advertising right now, most likely you are wasting your money. And that includes digital advertising. It includes any sort of advertising whatsoever. If you're paying for ads, you are wasting money generally. Okay, 1 in 4 people might not be wasting money. However, generally what I find is 3/4 of the people that put money into advertising are wasting their money. Why do they waste their money? Well, if you get free publicity, it's actually worth 3 to 8 times more in value than advertising. And people are paying thousands of dollars for ads. And the reason is because you have influence, you have third-party credibility, and you have trust that comes when you feature on TV, in radio, in print, or on podcasts. Now, we're at such a time at the moment where out of the 7.8 billion people on the planet, we have 3.8 billion active social media users. We have over 2 million podcasts now worldwide. There's over 1 million just in the US alone. Massive opportunity now to share your story in the mass media world. And if you're not doing much social media at the moment, I do encourage you to look into that, because journalists are looking to social media every single day for story ideas. It is a great way to connect and collaborate. And what you're doing here today is another great way to do that. So the journey that people go on when they go to put themselves out there, they think, oh, I want to make a bigger difference now, I want to reach more people. What is it for you? Why would you want to put yourself out there and get publicity? Why do you want to do it? Or if you haven't done it till now, what has stopped you? Please share in the chat. What has stopped you maybe getting more publicity, or why would you want to get more publicity? Well, for me, a big thing is leverage, right? Leverage is massive. If you want to leverage yourself, if you're time poor right now, you want to be using the power of publicity to really get yourself out there and reach thousands of people with the one message. The same when you put video content out there, you do the video once and people can watch it again and again and again. You put a book project out, the people can read that book again and again and again. It's the kind of thing that doesn't get thrown out. So you might be here right now in this journey. This is my rocket ship journey to publicity. You might feel right now like the world's best kept secret. You might feel like the world's best kept secret, which every single celebrity has been here at one point. We're not born famous generally, right? Unless you're in the royal family, right? We're not generally born famous, but most people start at the world's best kept secret and then they make a start. And 50% of anything you do is just starting. And you might make a start, you might learn a bit about how to get publicity, you might put together a press release and get some photos together. We're talking about today, get some good headshots, which you're going to need for your social media and you will need for traditional media as well. Get some photos and you put a pitch together, put some media angles together, and then you start to get some runs on the board. You get some local media coverage, and then you make some steady progress because media feeds off media. Once you start to put yourself out in the media, become known as an expert in your field, then you will be headhunted potentially, depending on how good the story is, by other media. And then you'll start to get some bigger runs on the board. You'll get some bigger media coverage, maybe in a major magazine or a podcast or on a major TV show. You shoot for the stars, you get some major media spots, and next thing you know, you are a star. And in fact, what happened to Robert Kiyosaki when he was the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, when he was on Oprah back in 2000, it was 3 years after he did the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book. 3 years later, he appeared on the 1 hour show with Oprah. At the end of the 1 hour show, Oprah turned to Robert and said, "Congratulations, Rich Dad. We've just sold you 1 million books." At the time, he was making $5 US per book. So that's $5 million at the end of the 1 hour show. And this is possible. Of course, that's Oprah, that's really big media. However, even just getting in your local paper or your local radio is reaching hundreds of thousands of people. And local journalists are looking for people in the local area doing great things. So if they don't know about you yet, here's a great opportunity for you to put yourself out there. Now, there's certain keys to success you need when you're putting yourself out into the media. Firstly is passion. What are you passionate about? And please feel free to share into the chat here. What are you passionate about? Or if you're watching this on Facebook or in the Zoom room, pop in the chat. What are you passionate about? Now, this passion, whatever it is for you, you will be able to talk about this topic, no doubt, until the cows come home, as they say here in Australia. Right? You will be able to, because people love to talk about what they're passionate about. And so the media love that. They love to hear that passion in your voice and see that when you're presenting or when you're talking. People want that passion. And if you're passionate about what it is you're doing, you will stick with it for longer. The next thing is purpose. What is your purpose? Why are you here? Now, Bob Proctor did a great video on this, and, said people ask him, how do I find my purpose? How do I know my purpose? And he said, do what you love every single day. Do as much as you can of what you love every single day. And that's your purpose. Find a way to do more of that. Find a way to monetize that as well. There's lots of ways you can do that if you're creative. And then package. You need to package yourself up effectively to become known as an expert, to build your profile, your credibility, your authority in the media. And with packaging, when it comes to publicity, the package involves having a press release, so you reduce the chances of a journalist getting the facts wrong. Having a good angle and some photos. Okay, photos and visuals are really important for all media. Photos are important also now for radio, because radio are putting photos up on their social media and on their websites, and TV of course works in visuals, right? So photos and visuals are really, really important. And then your pitch. You have 45 seconds to get a journalist's attention. They are very busy people. So when you pitch, keep it snappy, keep it to the point, and ideally when you pitch to journalists, keep it before noon, keep it in the morning, because by the afternoon, a lot of journalists are on deadline. And that will vary from some radio shows. Don't pitch to radio hosts during the radio show. You do it straight afterwards. Profile. What is people going to find when they Google you? Are you Googleicious? Right? What will people find when they Google your name? Is your profile consistent across the board? Do you have recent photos, or do you have old photos from 20 years ago that don't look anything like you? Your profile is really important. People, everything is done with connections nowadays, and building relationships with journalists, building relationships with other people here on this Zoom, with other people in the Mass Media Tribe group. You just never know what amazing connections can come out of that, or who people know as well that would be a great alliance for you. There's a process to getting publicity as well. I call it my media magic formula, which I'll share shortly. And then propel. Once you get your media coverage, how do you then get the most of that, make the most of that, so people actually know about the media coverage that you've had? Some people just get coverage and it just sits in the back burner, and then no one knows about it, right? Other than the people who might have seen that in that moment. So there's lots of ways you can leverage that and make the most of the coverage that you get. Now, this is my awesome media magic formula, and I do have a wand here somewhere. Here it is, my media magic wand. Here it is. So this is to prove that anything is possible for you, okay, with this wand. And this is my wand formula here. Now, the wand is in the with the acronym AWESOME. Okay, so the AWESOME stands for, A is for articulate your story. So before you go to the media, you need to be really clear on what is it that you want to promote. Is it a product? Is it a service? Is it a message? Is it a cause that you want to promote? And then we look at, what is your story behind that? Why are you passionate about that thing? Why is it that you want to make a difference in that area? And then the next thing is you need to work some angles for the media. So all journalists, all media outlets work on media angles. What sort of angle can you tie in that a journalist will find appealing around that thing? Now, a big tip here is that if you want to promote a product and you go to the media, they're going to say, just go out and take out an ad and pay thousands of dollars. That's what they're generally going to say. So you need to look at what that thing does for the wider community. Not focus on your widget or the thing that you're selling. Focus on what or what you do does that helps the wider community, because that's what the journalists are interested in. How does what you have to say, what you have to share, why and how does that impact their readers, their viewers, or their listeners? So the more you can make your story or your angle relevant to the wider community, the more they're going to love you. Now, elevate your profile. This is about how you then package up what you do with the press release, the visuals, and the pitch. And journalists can tell when you know what you're doing with this and when you don't. Now, a lot of PR agencies are actually way too commercial. They come from an advertising background. They don't understand what makes a newsworthy story. And so a lot of people are wasting money on PR agencies that do not know what they're doing. So I do recommend, if you're going to seek out a PR agency, work with people that have actually worked in the media as journalists, because it's very different to the advertising department. The S is to startle the media. How do you then get the media's attention? Now, Sir Richard Branson is fantastic at this. Now, he dressed in a wedding dress to launch the Virgin Brides venture. He dressed as a Zulu warrior to launch flights to South Africa. He even bared his butt to launch Virgin Galactic, Atlantic written along the back of him and a whole lot of other guys' butts, right? So these are kind of out there publicity stunts, but the media loved it, right? The more visual you can be and the more fun you can have with what you do, the media love that, because they don't want to just educate people. They actually want to entertain people as well. So how can you be entertaining with what you do? The O of the awesome steps is about owning your power. You are amazing. And if you know 10% more than someone else, you can teach it. Just 10% more. You don't have to know everything about a topic. Okay, so imposter syndrome will come in for some people, where they'll say, who am I to share this, or who am I to step up as the expert? Well, who are you not to? You probably teach people things all the time and share amazing wisdom, and you just haven't put a value on it or maybe appreciated that potentially. So this is owning your power is really crucial, so that you can then master interviews. And with the own your power segment too, this is coming from a loving space, because a lot of people have fear with putting themselves out to the media because they worry about what people are going to think, what's the media going to do, all that kind of thing. And a lot of fear comes up for people. And so it's important to come from a loving space and to speak your truth. Speak your truth. I say, if you don't speak your truth, even for one day of speaking your truth is better than a lifetime of lies. Now, you may not think you're lying. However, if you're not being true to yourself, then perhaps you are living a lie in some ways. Okay, now that's a pretty harsh thing to say, and I know it's in your face and might be hard to digest right now. However, you know, a third of people die by the age of 65, 1/3 of all the population. And we're seeing people drop off like flies now with COVID, right? We're seeing more of it happen. And so now more than ever, it's important that we own our power. We come from a loving space. We speak our truth before it's too late. And so once you do that, you'll be able to master your interviews too. There's certain things to do before, during, and after interviews, which I cover in depth in my masterclass. I don't have time to go through that here. However, the main point with interviews is that you have 3 main points front of mind that you want to share with the person interviewing you. 3 main points. People remember things in 3s. And then the E is explode your impact. Then once you get the publicity, put it on your social media, start a media page on your website. There's so much you can do with that. Tag the journalist, tag the media outlet. Often what will happen is the media outlet, once you put them on social media with photos, etc., they will then share that to their hundreds of thousands of people on social media and even on their websites too. So massive opportunity then to utilize the audience of that media outlet past the actual media appearance using the social media and the online. Now, there's certain benefits that happen once you do that. You will build your fame. You might not want to be famous like people like Hugh Jackman, Russell Crowe, Cyndi Lauper. These are people I've interviewed who are just like you and I. However, they followed their passions and they did whatever it took to do that, right? And they became famous in the process. You will become an expert in your field, and journalists are looking for experts all the time. Fortune, you will be able to charge more for what you do once you're known as the biggest expert in your field, or one of the biggest experts. Now, if you think about what business you are in right now, what area expertise, think about who is known as the #1 expert in your field right now. And feel free to pop into the chat. Who is the #1 expert in your field right now? So for example, I think about Tony Robbins in the personal development area, in the health area. I think about Michelle Bridges. I think about Noel Whittaker in finance. Why do these people come to mind immediately? Because they've had a lot of media coverage. And if there's others right now that are out there in the media and you're not, they're most likely, they've just packaged themselves up in a way that they've become known as experts over time through the media. So massive opportunity for you here, because journalists have multiple experts on their books. If they can't reach one expert, they'll go to the next and the next. And sometimes they need comment really quickly. They need to just be able to get some comment on a story and then move forward, right? So you need to be available for journalists. And sometimes they call from private numbers as well. So something else to be aware of if you're sending a press release out. And then the other benefit that comes from this too is that you will have more freedom. Once you have built your expert status, your fortune, you will have freedom and you will leave a legacy. And that's my number one favorite thing here, is leaving a legacy. Now, I do have a free Publicity Secrets Masterclass coming up. All that date is, that's an old date, old banner. I have one coming up, August 18 is my next one. Okay, August 18. Details are at freeprsecrets.com. And it's actually going to be a night event. Here it is here, August 18, 6 till 10 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And it is $97 Australian to attend. I am going to do some ticket giveaways today for anyone on the Zoom to attend that. We'll have 2 tickets giving away at the end of this session. It's the first time I'm doing a night event too, and that might work with some people in other parts of the world. So Free Publicity Secrets Masterclass, a 4-hour intensive. There's only a 10-minute break in it. It is a phenomenal event where I go into a lot of detail about what we've been talking about here, and we go through all of those steps in much more detail. All right, and there, that's the link there, freeprsecrets.com. You've got my Linktree link there for anyone on the Zoom, or you can just go straight to freeprsecrets.com. There is a chance also, opportunity there to purchase the recording as well. So that's just $19.95 if you just want the recording, but it is better to be in the room and workshop some things together. Then I have the Mass Media Mastery Program as well. There's a few different options there. You can check that out on my website. The link is on the link tree there as well. And that, with that, I really hold your hand and work with you until you get publicity. It's guaranteed publicity with this program. I don't know anyone else who does this, who guarantees publicity in this field. And I work with people until they get publicity. And once you're in the tribe, once you're part of the group, then you'll stay in the group, right? We look after you. So we also have currently the Global Good News Challenge. This is something I started during COVID. It's a monthly challenge and it's absolutely free to attend and to participate. Every month we have different challenges where you just do a Facebook Live and you just share your name, what you do, 3 things you're grateful for, and a piece of good news. And you can do that either on your personal profile or in the Loving Life group on Facebook. All the details are pinned to the top of the Global Good News Challenge Facebook page on how to participate. They start on the first Monday of every month and they go for as long as whatever number month it is. So we've got the 8th month, so we've got an 8-day challenge for August. Then in September, it will be starting the first Monday of September, will be a 9-day challenge. October will be a 10-day challenge. And it's amazing how good you will feel doing this. You can use it as a way also to promote what you've got coming up in your business or promote something great around what you're doing, right? It's a great promotional activity and you will lift your energy and lift the energy of those around you. As I mentioned earlier, I'm passionate about inspiring truth and good news to help decrease depression, anxiety, and suicide rates. Suicide rates have gone up during COVID. There's a million people a year worldwide who actually take their own lives. That's the stats, and that's gone up with COVID. So now more than ever, we need more good news, and it's something that we can all do, is share more good news and lift the energy on the planet. Now, I've personally had depression. I've also had 4 friends, as I mentioned, take their own lives by the age of 45. So it's very, very close to my heart. Having grown up with a hell of a lot of negative news, my dad used to watch the news every single night, at least 1 to 2 hours of the news every night. And I just grew up depressed and angry with the world until I realized I could actually do something to make a difference in this area. So I encourage you to join the Global Good News Challenge. You can start the August challenge anytime between now and Monday. Okay, so anytime between now and the 9th of August, you can start your 8 days consecutively on Facebook. We also have a brand new event that I've just launched with an amazing amazing guy I've known for a long time, Peter Turner. He's actually a filmmaker and director. He's doing a film called The Darker Side of Paradise right now, feature film on the Gold Coast. And we are doing a Star Maker Masterclass on the Gold Coast. It's going to be an in-person event, an exclusive event, how to present and produce videos like a superstar. And that's very exciting. It's coming up September 4. It's on a Saturday, and it's going from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. for the event. Then we're going to have drinks for the next hour after that. So for the link to that, it's promoted at the moment on Eventbrite, it's on Meetup, it's on Facebook events. So if you just look up Star Maker Masterclass, you'll find that one there. It's exclusive to just 12 people max. We're going to be doing green room presenting in the studio. We're going to be showing you editing, filming techniques, presentation techniques, and also we will be editing videos in the workshop. So people can come bring their laptops, and we'll be workshopping that in the room. It will be held on the Gold Coast, and the location will be given out once you register for that. So that's just launched, coming up in a month's time. Now, also, all my social media is right here. If you'd like to just get a snapshot of that, then you can see all the social media links there on Linktree, and that will give you links to everything I've just talked about here today. I'll just give you a moment to do that. Do we have any questions at this stage? I'll just have a look at the chat. Let's see some of the things we're passionate about. Sophia, passionate about touching the lives of women everywhere through empowerment. Beautiful. Barbara, helping people. Lovely. Nice. Anna, passionate about empowering people by connecting to their breath and body. Beautiful. Virginia, passionate about enabling workplaces where people thrive. Love it. Julie, passionate about lifting the energy within people and our universe. The impact to help stop family abuse and help families understand this affects long-term mental illness. Absolutely. We can change our family behaviours and traits. We can lift the energy within our community. Beautiful, Julie. Nicely said. Nero says, passionate about giving women a voice. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. The world really is your oyster. And I do encourage you one way or another to step up, step out, be seen, be heard. This is my final slide, and we're going to hear from the amazing Brad shortly. Shine bright. I believe in the power of one, and I believe in you. May your flame burn bright and light up all those around you. So there you go. That's my short presentation. I will stop the share now, and I'd love to hear from you very quickly. What are some things you got out of that presentation? What's something you're going to be doing differently moving forward? Would anyone like to share? Just unmute yourself and quickly share what you got out of that, and then we'll come over and introduce Brad in just a moment. Who'd like to share? Just unmute yourself if you'd like to share, or pop your hand up. You're all taking the information. I know there was a lot I just covered then. Hopefully you got that all, and hopefully you'll take some action. What are some gems you got out of that? Who'd like to share? You're being a bit shy there. Virginia, good on you, Virginia.
There were some great frameworks, or when I really like them, but the question I was left with is, who is the number one person in my space that I need to pay attention to and see what they're doing? Because that wasn't a straight off the the top of my head, so I've got to have a think about that. So nice, thank you.
Yes. And so just, Virginia, for those who don't know, what is your field again? And maybe others here might know it.
Yeah, so I'm a consultant who specialises in leadership and change, and I want to work with those that are delivering services to those with a disability, so that they can create organisations where they thrive. So that's where the commercial and the purpose side of businesses come together.
Nice. So a leadership and change expert. Now that's interesting you say that, because I can't think of a leadership and change expert right now off the top of my head, which means there's probably opportunity right now for you to put yourself forward as an expert in that field. Can anyone else here think of a leadership and change expert? Can anyone think of anyone? No. So there's probably opportunity there, Virginia, if you can't think of anyone, to put yourself forward as the expert.
There you go. Stop thinking, start doing.
Beautiful. That's a great realization.
And no, thank you. That's a really nice insight. And I was thinking about your masterclass, so I was interested in that.
Yes, wonderful. freeprSecrets.com. It is an amazing
the Star Maker.
Oh, the Star Maker will be great as well. Yep, that'll be brilliant as well.
Okay.
Star Maker. Yeah, that'll be awesome as well. And an in-person event will be nice. There's not too many of those going around at the moment. So
Absolutely. Bring them on.
So yes. And, you know, if there is lockdown at the time, you know, then your ticket will carry on to the next time we do it. But at this stage, that's the only one we've got planned. So yeah, that will be fantastic. All right, Virginia, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
What's something else we got out of it? Who else would like to share? Now that we're all stepping up with our voice, my voices are stepping up. What did we get out of that? Were you guys listening, or was I just talking to myself? I know you were listening. Okay, that's good. I just want to see, I'm just testing to see what you picked up. Oh, Una. Oh, Anna. So I keep saying Una because I see the you there. Anna, yes. Anna, what did you get out of that?
Well, actually, I've heard your presentation before, so and I loved hearing it again. And what I got out of that was that I just feel a lot of positivity about what you're doing. You're running a lot of initiatives, and I just wanted to say that I really acknowledge you for creating these events and like the gratitudes. I love the idea of the gratitudes, and yeah, maybe I'll sign up for the Facebook challenge.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'd love to see that. Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. And that's the thing, you know, even though the presentation may look similar to other times I've done it, I never quite know what I'm going to share, quite what's going to come out of my mouth. I don't have any scripts. I just share whatever needs to be shared. That's how I operate when I present. And I know some people will say you have to script out every single thing you're going to say. Don't they, Virginia? Some people say you have to script. And you know, with the 90-minute talk, you know, if you're doing a corporate presentation or something like that, well, that's a different story. However, you know, I do speak from the heart and never know quite what's going to come out. However, I will say for the Global Good News Challenge, anyone who's up to doing it, I would love to hear from you the experience of sharing gratitude on a video. It's one thing to think gratitude or write what you're grateful for, but when you share it on a video, it is so powerful, and you actually feel it. Personally, for myself, I've felt it in my cells. I feel immediately better by sharing gratitude, and that's what will happen when you do the Global Good News Challenge. You will feel amazing, and those who see it will feel amazing. And often what will happen is people will then come and do business with you with your good news that you share, because now they've connected with you on a whole other level. So it is incredibly powerful. It wasn't designed as a marketing exercise. However, it's really become kind of a marketing exercise, as well as lifting the energy on the planet. Very, very powerful. Thank you so much for sharing. And any other insights, please pop them into the chat. Really want to hear from Brad now. We've got so much to cover. So just a little bit of an intro on Brad, and we may go a little bit past 2 o'clock today, but we'll aim to wrap up a little bit after that. So we'll see how we go with time. All right. So now Brad is the Director and Chief Photographer for Bradkay Photographix. He's a full-time professional commercial photographer who's been on the Gold Coast for over 30 years. He's a specialist studio headshot photographer, and his passion is wave art and fine art. He has a studio in Robina, but travels also to all parts of Australia and internationally to shoot. Maybe not so much during COVID, but normally he would be traveling around the countryside. Brad believes it's his job to make you look like you can do your job, and that everyone can become photogenic. He thinks being photogenic is a skill that can be taught in this social media frenzy workspace. It's a skill that is definitely worth learning. His best clients are those who hate having their photo taken. He believes that people hate having their photo taken because they have never been taught how to do it. So his goal is to help his clients brand themselves to compete in this ever-changing digital image saturated marketplace and stand out from the crowd. Please welcome the amazing Brad Delaney. Yay, over to you, Brad.
Thank you, Aldwyn. Thanks so much for having me on board today, you guys. I'm going to try and hopefully, like I said, give you some hints and some tips about some of the things that I do during my sessions, and hopefully you'll be able to take them away. Whether, you know, there's probably a couple of things that it could help you with. First and foremost, obviously, having a bit of background. Like, you know, obviously there's 2 ways to be photographed. You can either get somebody else to do it for you, primarily a photographer, and, you know, I'll talk about photographers these days as well, but you could also do a selfie. So if you go to another photographer to get photographed, then hopefully these tips and hints will help you help them, maybe is a good idea. But if you're doing selfies, well, then hopefully similar kind of thing, it's going to enable you to sort of understand a little bit better about the mechanics of being photographed. So, all right, so a little bit of an introduction. Thank you, Aldwyn. I'm Brad from the Headshot Guys. Bradkay Photographix is my mothership, so to speak, where I do a few other different things. I know Aldwyn mentioned my wave art. I'm a passionate wave artist, which means I swim out into the ocean and I shoot, I suppose, pretty pictures of the waves. The other thing I do a lot of fine art. So I have a couple of galleries that exhibit my work, which I love. So I do a couple of projects every now and again and dabble in a bit of that kind of stuff. But my main passion is obviously my headshots, and that's really where I derive a lot of, I suppose, passion, and I get a lot out of that, particularly with the transition that people go through when they walk in, and probably nobody here, and I know there was a show of hands before, I think, where people hated having their photograph taken. Now, I have a couple of core beliefs. The first one is that most people look terrible in their photographs for one major reason, and that is simply they've never been taught how to do it. And today we're going to talk about things like your best side, your bigger eye, which side of your mouth you smile out of. Yeah. Now, primarily we are women, except for Paul there. G'day, Paul. Thanks for coming by, buddy. But, you know, women have hair parts. Have you thought about why you part your hair on one side of your face and not the other? These are the types of things that have been the domain for actresses and actors and models for as far back as we can remember. But all of a sudden now these things become relevant to corporates, and I'll call most of us in here corporates. We may have businesses, I'm assuming, and that's one of the reasons we're here. So we could consider ourselves corporates, small business, whether you've got a small business, a medium-sized business, or a large business. At some point in time, and we've all identified, we need to be photographed. We need, as much as we might hate it, we need to stick our head in front of the camera and go, hi, this is me. This is what I do. And we just have to get our heads around it, because I personally believe that personal branding is not going anywhere. If anything, it's going to ramp up. Now, I know this is getting televised live on Facebook. We don't know if Facebook is going to still be around in a few years. Let's face it, everything you do, and I know TikTok's the big one at the moment. My 10-year-old's on TikTok. Now, people go, well, why would I go on TikTok? Well, just think about it like this. Facebook started as a university group, basically. I think Zuckerberg, or whatever his name was, he was at uni when he started, or he just left uni or something, but he was, you know, early 20s, late teens, early 20s. So, and now I think about it, my mum's on Facebook, she's 83. So all of these social mediums, they all age up. Anyway, okay, so let's, a little bit of background from me. Born in Melbourne. I now live on the Gold Coast. I've been Gold Coast for 35 odd years. I've also got a space in Brisbane, which is 8 Mile Plains. So I've got a space up there that I rent, so I can service Brisbane as well. Looking to get into Melbourne and Sydney as well, but that's for further plans down the track. Obviously, it'd be nice to get past COVID first, but anyway, we won't go down that rabbit hole. Aldwyn's already mentioned that before. So I grew up in a pub in Melbourne. My folks had a pub. I grew up in the heart of Melbourne City, riding a skateboard around all the car parks and so on in Melbourne City. I went to boarding school for a little while, which enabled me to complete year 12. I then moved to the Gold Coast, where I got into the hospitality. I'd always been a photographer as such. I come from a family full of artists. They're all painting and drawing and doing all that sort of artistic stuff. I'm lucky to draw a stick figure, but somebody gave me a camera. I think it was about my 15th or 16th birthday. And I went, oh, shit, I like this. this is pretty cool. So I started taking pictures. So I've always been doing that. I was always, I suppose, semi-pro, taking photos of models. I started dating a model when I was running a nightclub. So I got back into hospitality. I ran a nightclub for a while. If any of you know the Gold Coast, I ran Fortune's nightclub, which was on top of the Conrad Jupiters. While I was running that nightclub, Conrad Jupiters sent me to Oxford University in the UK, where I completed my Masters in Business Administration. I got back from Oxford and said to Conrad, hey, I've got my piece of paper now. What have you got for me? And they said, can you give me 8 months? And I said, I've been doing this for 3 years. So I said, well, listen, I'm going to go and wait in Japan. I thought I'd go and goof off in Japan and just have a bit of a time out. Anyway, 6 months turned into 8 years I spent in Japan, came home with a wife. But I did get cancer. I had cancer. I'm a cancer survivor. So I had throat cancer. So I had to come back from Japan and deal with all that stuff. When you lie on your back and contemplate your own demise for as many months as what I did, I got out of bed and I decided I'm not going to spend 10 minutes doing shit I don't want to do anymore. So I just went, what do I want to do? All I want to do is take photos. So I set about starting my business. I was 41, 42. I had no money. Any money I had gone trying to just survive while I was crook. Middle of the last global financial crisis back in 2008. I think people might remember that, 2009. I said, I don't care. People said, how are you going to start a business in the middle of a GFC with no money? And I just said, I don't care. I'm just going to do it. So that's it. The Headshot Guys was born out of a meeting. And I know a few of you said you were coaches in there. Keep doing what you're doing. I love business coaches. Where a guy said to me, at that stage, I was shooting anything and everything. And he said, mate, find a niche and become that guy. So I took him at his word, and that's what I did. I looked around, I looked in the States because we generally follow their trends and what was big over there. And I found this headshot thing. And that's when I fell in love with headshots. I've always been shooting headshots. I'd always been shooting portraits. I just wanted to make myself better at doing that. I wanted to make myself the expert. So without any further ado, here I find myself, I've met Aldwyn in a BX meeting, which we networked together, which I love doing. I love doing networking. You can see my studio here in the background. I spend a lot of time in here by myself. So it's nice to get out and about, meeting new people, other business people, etc., etc. Okay, so let's talk about Zoom. Now, I'm not an expert at Zoom by any stretch of the imagination. I did spend a little bit of time on Zoom last year because I was in a networking event and we went onto Zoom. So, you know, obviously I don't meet a lot of my clients on Zoom. They come to my studio person to person. So lockdown really hurts, trust me. So let's talk about Zoom. Now, one of the things that I've noticed about Zoom is that people are a little bit nervous about getting too close. Get a little bit closer. Now, I've written down some notes here. Now, the first thing I've written here is background. Think about your background. Yeah. Now, for me, I like to keep it simple, clean and simple. So if you've got a white background, or you've got a white wall, and now I haven't put in a background. Normally I would, but I've left a bit of the stuff in here with my studio so people go, oh, he's a photographer. It's relevant. If you're going to have something in your background, make it relevant to whatever it is that you do. Yeah, does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. The next thing you need to think about is your angle, the angle of your view. Now, try where you can to have your camera at eye level. Yeah, really, really important to have it at eye level so that people are looking at your face flat, if that makes sense. And this is relevant also when you're taking a selfie with an iPhone. Too many people are kind of angled down or angled upwards or whatever it is. Try and get the camera so it's flat. Now, I spent most of last year on Zoom, as I said, for that. And it was we used to do 2 hours every Thursday morning on Zoom. I had a tissue box underneath my laptop so I could get it up high enough so that it wasn't zooming up my nose or up my chin or under my chin. So there was a tissue box, and then I went online and I found a laptop stand that enables me to have the camera at my eye level. Yeah. What else? I talked about get a little bit closer. Now, one of the things that I will discuss during my presentation about headshots is your body shape. For most of us, myself included, my body shape is completely irrelevant to the job that I do. So it's really no point me showing it. People don't want to see my body. I'm 57, bloody fit. I've been riding bikes and stuff for ages now, but you know, my body shape is completely irrelevant. I feel like there's three people that need to show their body: models, actors, fitness trainers. If you're not one of those people, your body shape is irrelevant. So if you're sitting all the way back here like this, and you've got all of your body and you've got issues, don't show it. Come in closer. Yeah. So they're the main things I sort of get from looking at people on a Zoom. Think about your background. Think about how close you are. Try and get at eye level. Eliminate distractions. Eliminate your body, I suppose, if that concerns you. Okay, so now I'm going to move on and start talking a little bit about headshots. So now I'm going to do that.
Just some more tips on that too, Brad, with the Zoom.
Yep.
One thing I highly recommend is that you have light on your face. Lighting and framing is really, really crucial. As Brad said, you don't want to be way back, but you also don't want to be like so close that you're chopping your head off either. So
Correct.
Ideally, you want your shoulders, and so always think lighting. If you've got light behind you, see how Paul's got light behind him at the moment? His face is looking dark. Right, we want to be able to see your face because we connect with your eyes and your face, right? We're connecting. Now, I've got my laptop elevated a little bit higher than me. Brad said have it sort of towards your face. So, you know, you don't want to go too high, obviously, but you don't want to be, definitely don't want to be lower, because then you're going to get the double chin. You're going to look up your nose, as he said. So always think, you know, framing, lighting. You could do a Zoom background like this even without a green screen, although your hands will be going in and out a bit, and if you don't have an actual green screen, and you can get them quite cheap now on Amazon, and you know you can get a studio set up for a great price generally online. So just some more points on the Zoom. Thank you, Brad, back to you.
No worries. Yep. So, well, actually talking about price, if you are going to spend a fair bit of time on Zoom, it's worth thinking seriously about lighting. Now, I know you can buy little lights that'll sit on top of your laptop or your computer screen. Now, I'm using a laptop here today because I have screens here. I have 3 screens in my studio that I shoot my imagery into. None of them have cameras in them because they're legitimate sort of screens. So I've got to use my laptop to do all these types of things, but I've got it on a stand. But you can buy, like I said, little lights that'll go on the top and give you enough light. The little luminous LCD sort of, what are they called? I was going to say LSD, little LCD sort of lights that you can stick on top of your computer. You can buy bigger ones. This one behind me here that I use occasionally, I think it was like $50 on eBay. So just, you know, just have a look. The stand that this laptop's on now to make my face look sort of flat, I think it was $10 on eBay. So there's all sorts of stuff that you can go out there. I've seen a green screen that it sort of sits, it's got an elastic band, it sits on the back of your chair, which sits out behind you. So with those green screens, I think Zoom allows you to put any photograph you like. You can get a photo, download a photograph. I think the lady, I've lost her picture now. I think she might have been doing that from Florida with the palm trees and the ocean.
Yes,
in the background.
That's correct.
So you can do that. So if you're going to be spending a lot of time on Zoom, invest in the background. Have a think about your chair, have a think about all those types of things. Lighting is really important. Framing, what's in the background, is it relevant? And I'll talk a little bit more about that when I'm talking about headshots. Okay, so I know we're under the pump for time, so I'm going to try and share my screen. Let me know if this doesn't work.
Yeah, there's a few backgrounds I've just been playing with. So the background I generally use is one that I had done in Canva, which is a great system a free graphic design tool online, Canva, CANVA. You can design something like I've got. Yes, we can see that, Brad.
Excellent. So I just want that one. No. No, that's not what I want.
So Sarah, what sort of screen am I using? You're asking. This is I've got a green screen. I've actually got quite a thick green screen here. You can get, some of them are really not that great quality, but I have a thick sort of velvety green screen from my photography days.
Can we see that screen of mine?
Yes,
yep.
You can see that.
Okay, so now I'm quite happy for people to stop me at any time and ask questions. I don't have a problem with that. I think if you have a thought and you have a question, ask it immediately. I do this for a living. I can stand up ad lib and talk about headshots and personal branding and all that kind of stuff till I'm blue in the face. So if you've got a question and you think it's relevant, please stop me, ask me. I'm quite happy to go through it. So as I said to you before, I believe that being photogenic is teachable. I also believe, and this is a blight on the photography industry or photographers out there, I believe that personal branding hasn't kicked on as quickly and as easily as it should have. And I blame photographers, because photographers don't know enough about people's faces. They're into their gear and they buy new cameras and they have fancy lights, but they don't know enough about how to make people look good. And that's having a little bit of an understanding about people's faces. Okay, so before we get there, one of the things couple of things, obviously, before you decide you're going to do personal branding or headshots or any of those types of things, you've got to understand your purpose. Now, I would understand that all of you know what you do, yeah? The next point about understanding what it is that you do is like, well, who's your market? Who is your audience? Yeah. So again, it's relevant for your purpose. So you want to say to yourself, well, what do I do? Who am I doing it for? And then you want to say, well, what do I want to be saying to those people with my face? And we're talking about this in relation to a headshot. Which you need to use. People want to connect with people. People want to know who Brad is, Brad the headshot guys. They don't want to see some logo. They want to see my head. Now, I don't really like being photographed either, but you've got to put yourself out there. So think about your purpose, what it is that you do and what you want to say. Now, I'm going to say this and then people can jump in and bag me out if they like. I get loads and loads of people that come into the studio and they go, I want to show my personality. And my first question is, why? And they go, oh, I'm a fun-loving guy or I'm a fun-loving girl. I go, people don't care. People don't care about your personality. Yeah. People are not interested. If I'm going into LinkedIn and I'm looking, for example, for a lawyer, I'm not going through LinkedIn thinking to myself, I'm going to find the lawyer with the best personality. It's just not their process. It's not their process. Now, there was a number of people and you've all introduced yourself. I didn't hear anybody say I'm a model or an actor. Yeah. So we can all say again that we're corporates. So for me, it's not about showing your personality. Now, if you're a model or an actor, it's also, for those guys, it's about looking aesthetically pleasing. So one of the things I talk to people about often is that when you're being photographed, it's not about your features. Yeah. I have one ear sticks out more than the other, but nobody probably noticed it because you're not looking at my headshot going, he's got one ear that sticks out more than the other. He's not going to know anything about being photographed. Yeah. He's got a ball on the end of his nose. He's not going to know anything about photography. People are not critiquing your features unless you are a model or an actress. Yeah. So it's not about looking beautiful. People, again, are not going through LinkedIn going, oh, I'm going to find the most beautiful business coach or hypnotherapist or photographer or whatever. It's just not just not their thinking. Think about what you're looking for when you're looking for a plumber, for example, or a lawyer or a financial advisor or a business coach. You're not critiquing their features. You're critiquing the vibe that they give off. Yeah, so the vibe that you give off in your headshot is all about the expression on your face. Now, I forget, there was a lady talking before, I think it might have been Susan. She was talking about when she's delivering her presentations and someone takes a photograph of her, that sometimes she can look a bit stern or she has a weird expression on her face. That's a little bit different sort of a situation because you're live, whereas this is where you have, I'm talking about a headshot where you have control over the image and control over how you look in front of that camera. Unfortunately for Susan, when she's giving a presentation, if people are taking pictures of her, you know, you're really at the mercy of when, you know, if you're like this, when you're speaking, you have no control over that. So, but this is when you're in a studio or at your home, you're taking a selfie or the things that you need to think about. So, okay, so I believe being photogenic is teachable and it's a skill that you can learn. So my presentation's called that. I spoke about all that sort of stuff. If you wanted to see that, I can put that up later on. Why am I here? I love making images. I love improving the industry. And I don't want to have to work for somebody else. And obviously I like making money. So that's, most of us are here. That's one of the reasons we do. I have a family. I have little kids. I started late. I won't bore you with all those details. Okay, so let's talk about what is a headshot. For me, that image on the screen is a headshot. It's not a half body shot. It's not a full length shot. Yeah. As I said to you before, my body shape is completely irrelevant to the job that I do. And I think for most of you out there, that would be the case. So I don't really believe that there's any requirement for you to have your body in a photograph of yourself if you're a business owner. And unless, of course, like I said, you are a fitness trainer, an actor or a model. I think they're the only three people that I can really think of that need to have their bodies in their photograph. So any questions around that? Is that clear enough? Sometimes people sort of, oh yeah, but I've seen these photos of real estate agents with half a body. Okay, fantastic. But 99 times out of 100, when I'm photographing a group of people, particularly for real estate agents and lawyers, and they're saying, oh, we want half body shots. Again, I'll say, why? Why do you want to put yourself or other people into a position where they've got to all of a sudden think about their shoulders, their boobs, their chest, their stomachs, their arms, you know, all those types of things? There's no need for it. It's not required. People want to connect with this. They're not interested in, you know, you guys are probably not interested in seeing my tired old body. So, you know, it's irrelevant. So it's no point. For me, photographing somebody half body or full length is that much more difficult because there's 48 other things we've got to think about. Not only are we thinking about the head, but we're thinking about the shoulders and the boobs and the arms and the hands and the stomachs and the waist, and the fashion becomes all that much more relevant. So again, a lot of these things are my opinion. I think your body shape is completely irrelevant to the job you do, most of you. I didn't hear anybody there, like I said, say that they were a fitness trainer, a model or an actress. So for me, this is a headshot. It's a shot of your head and a little bit of your shoulders. Yeah. Now I generally shoot on clear backgrounds, white, light grey, dark grey, black, but I generally make it clear, again, because I eliminate distractions. Your headshot is about your head and it's about people connecting with you. And often your headshot is about them connecting with you and that expression or that headshot inspiring them to read or take your call to action. So again, you come back to your purpose. What's the purpose? Well, I want them to read. If you're LinkedIn, for example, let's use LinkedIn as a good example, and you have your headshot on top of LinkedIn. Well, your call to action really on LinkedIn is to have them read your bio, scroll down and go, oh yeah, I like this guy, I like the look of this girl or this woman or whatever, I like the sound of what she does. But you want them to click through, text you, ring you, visit your website, do all those types of things from a marketing perspective. So remembering that this headshot is going to be the image that they have in their brain when they're doing that, when they're reading your bio, when they're clicking on your link, when they're sending you a text or ringing you, this is the image that they're going to have it in their head. Now, once they see you on Zoom or they meet you in person, that image is going to be taken, that headshot is going to be taken over by that live meeting. So eliminate distractions. Again, I live on the Gold Coast. It's a beautiful place to live. We've got beaches, we've got buildings and all the rest of it, beautiful weather. People come in and they go, oh, can I put Surfers Paradise in the background? Again, my question is why? Yeah. People are going to look at your headshot potentially for about 5. You don't want to give them anything else except your head. Now, if you want to show where you live, your location, well, just have a picture of the Gold Coast there. Yeah, there was a lady, have a picture of Newcastle, have a picture of Florida or Bilambil Heights or whatever. If you want to show your location, that's a whole lifestyle thing. This is different. I talk about headshots. So I keep my backgrounds clean. I keep them simple. No distractions. Yeah. Any questions along those lines? Nope. Jump in. I'm happy for you to. Okay. Again, headshot, headshot, headshot. Yeah. These are all headshots except the bottom one. Okay. My headshot session goals, I did talk about them before. Create amazing images, create a good atmosphere, because generally people will remember how you made them feel, and obviously give you some skills that they can take away. So that's what it is. So what is a headshot? I've talked about that. These are not headshots. I did mention before, models and actors need to know their better side. Now, all of a sudden, photographers should be able to identify your best side fairly quickly. Okay, now what are we talking about when we're talking about your better side, your stronger side, your softer side? Now, most of you have your hair parted on one side of your face or the other. Is there anybody that understands exactly why they have their hair parted on one side of their face and not the other? No, nobody knows.
My hair naturally goes that way, Brad. I just kind of I part it just where it's like, if I just flick my hair down and flick it back, it just naturally sort of parts, and I just put it up at that point.
I do get a lot of people will say that to me, and I won't challenge it, but I'll just say maybe it goes that way because you've been brushing it like that since you were 4. I don't know, but I find that what most women in particular, but most women will part their hair on their favoured side of their face. Yeah. So often what they're saying with their hair is, look at me from this angle because it looks better. Yeah. So if they're particularly those with longer hair, now if you've got short hair, well, you'll probably still have a part that might be still relevant, but often it's because you're saying to people, look at me from this side because it looks better. And I think most of us, if we're trying to do a selfie or take our own headshot, we will often defer to one side. And that's often the side that we perceive to be stronger or better or softer. Now, one of the things that certainly helps me when I'm photographing people, and now normally my sessions are 90 minutes, so we spend nearly 2 hours taking 120 photos with a process that I have in the studio, and that's a long time. But if I'm photographing somebody and I have 5 seconds at an event to go, right, photograph this person, I will often use their hair part. There's 3 main things that I use: their hair part, their bigger eye, and the side of their mouth they smile out of. Yeah, because often their bigger eye and the side they smile out of will be opposite. So basically what that gives us is a stronger side or a softer side. Now, when we start talking about our eyes, 82% of people have one eye bigger than the other. Now, generally, if anybody wants to call me a liar or tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, think about your hair part. Now, if you can look at your eye, you'll often find that the hair part side of your face will be your bigger eye. Yeah, might be relevant. Sometimes people will go, oh no, I've got a scar here, or there's a scar here, or I've got a tooth missing, and there might be reasons why that might not be the case, but these are generalizations. So that's one thing, a bigger eye. Yeah, I think 82% of people have one eye bigger than the other. Yeah, our faces are not symmetrical. Yeah. The other one is our mouths. Now, we smile out of one side of our mouth first. Now, often our other side will catch up, but it'll start on one side of our face. Yeah. So that will give us the side that it starts on will often give us our softer side. It's more smiley. So we don't have to be smiling as large as we do. Now, I talk about Susan here. Maybe Susan was worried in her presentation on stage, I'm guessing, that people were photographing her and she's looking a bit stern or a bit weird. Maybe she needs to tell those photographers, go to my softer, more smiley side when you're photographing me, and there's more chance that you'll be photographed with a more pleasing, pleasant, softer look on your face. So all of this stuff now that used to be the domain of actors and actresses and models is now relevant, certainly relevant to what I do, making people look good. So if you understand your side, that's a really, really good start. So you may need the help of someone else, because sometimes when we look in the mirror, often when we look in the mirror, we're doing weird things with, I know, women makeup, and, where guys are shaving and we're doing weird stuff. So sometimes you need somebody else to look at your face and go, oh yeah, that eye is bigger than that eye. And I photographed a former, she was third runner-up Miss Universe not that long ago. She came in here and I said, oh, we've got to fix your bigger eye. And she sort of looked at me like, what? And I said, well, your left eye is bigger than your right eye. She was like, what do you mean? I said, well, your left eye is bigger than your right. She'd been getting photographs since she was 5, and now she was 22 or something. And I was the first photographer that ever said, well, this is your bigger eye and this is your smaller eye and this is how we fix it. Anyway, I digress. So our faces fall into our whole bodies fall into a golden ratio. And the golden ratio is 1 to 1.618. Now, I'm not a mathematician, so I'm not going to bore you with the mathematics of that. But Leonardo da Vinci used to go on about this, apparently, and that's why he could draw people so accurately, because he said you could measure one part of somebody's body and then you would be able to extrapolate that ratio out through the rest of anybody's body. So if you measured from the tip of your finger, for example, to the shoulder, the ratio between those two distances, from the tip of your finger to your shoulder and the tip of your finger to your elbow, the ratio between those two distances would be 1 to 1.618. Same from the ground to your hip, from the ground to your knee. Your face is no different. So the reason that we look at the Brad Pitts of the world and the Angelina Jolies and go, wow, they're so beautiful, is because their faces are symmetrical. So that's one of the things that I talk about and we actively participate in during the session, is working out, changing your symmetry and working out how to make your face symmetrical. So there's going to be 5 things that I'm going to talk about very soon. Rule of thirds is another thing. Now, people may have noticed, if you go to my website, theheadshotguys.com.au, and you look at my portfolio, you'll notice that, and even if you go back through the headshots that I've already shown you on the page today, I chop off the top of people's heads. Now, I do this deliberately because there's a thing called the rule of thirds. Now, basically, it's a photographic rule that says that you need to get the most important thing in your image onto the top third of any image. So for me, when I'm photographing somebody's face or somebody's head, the most important thing are the eyes. So I want those eyes to be on the top third of the picture. Now, as I've also said, anything below about, your shoulders is really irrelevant to the job you do. So I need that proximity. I like that proximity. So to do that and get the eyes in the right spot so that people are connecting with your eyes, I chop the tops of people's heads off. Now, some people get upset about it. I go, well, that's my style. I think it looks really good as an image. That's the background of why I do it. Rule of thirds. I like the eyes above center line on that top third, and I like the proximity that it gives me. So losing that little tiny bit of head at the top of the image, doesn't really care. I can shoot in a portrait style with your full head, and I also do that. But my preferred mode is in this horizontal format, just matching the way that the camera generally shoots. So I hope that makes sense. Has anybody questions about that rule of thirds? No, good. Now, just to let you know, I can't see your heads on my screen. So if you want to ask a question, you're going to have to unmute yourself and jump in. I'm quite happy to be interrupted. So, okay. So rule of thirds, you can see the rule of thirds in pretty much all of these imagery, even the girls with their bikinis, their heads, you know, are still all that. Okay, so there's 5 main things. We're going to get into the guts, the tips of where you, probably why you guys are here, to get some tips about how to look better in your selfies and in your videos. There's 5 main things I'm going to talk about. So, and on this page, I've only got 3, but I've added in a couple of extras for you that I feel like need some explanation. So I call this my level method system. Yeah, so I talk about level of tilt, level of focus, level of smile. And then there's a level of turn and another level of tilt, I suppose, at the end. But these are these extra 2 that I've added on. So let's talk about level of tilt. Yeah, so most of us, if I go back away from the camera, you can see all this stuff happening under here. Yeah, not too many of us miss when it comes to having a little bit of extra stuff around here. We call it chins. You know, we have double chins and triple chins and all those types of things. Now, this is how you get rid of your double chins. And the way you do it is that you push your face towards the camera. Now, presupposing, of course, that the camera is at eye level, you push your face towards the camera and you tilt it down a little bit. Now, what that does, it's creating distance from the point of your chin to your neck. Now, it's going to feel weird. I don't care, because I know it looks good. It looks good in a photograph. Yeah. Now, again, I think it was, I've lost her name down there, not Barbara, but someone else that was talking about being on stage and talking and having weird photographs taken of herself. It's not going to help you in this situation, but if you're having a still photograph taken, you push your face out towards the camera and then you slightly tilt it down. Yeah. So basically what happens, cameras are 2-dimensional, so they squash you. So even though it feels weird and you're sticking your face out, it's going to make you look closer. Yeah. Now, a lot of our, if you're doing a selfie, a lot of our fancy iPhones and Samsungs and whatever the hell you use, they all have portrait mode. So you can stick it in portrait mode and just push your face out a little bit towards the camera. Now, depending on how much stuff you've got underneath here will depend on how far out you need to go. But I see people doing high cameras to try and do that. No, eye level, push your chin out, and it's almost like you're pushing your forehead towards the camera a little bit, even when I'm doing this. So out and then down. So the down does 2 things. The first thing it does, it gives you a little bit of humility, makes you look a little bit humble. Yeah, that's really, really important. There's a fine line between cocky and confident. I want to always err on the side of confidence. Yeah. So the second thing it does is that anything that you do have going underneath here, it hides it. So you go out and then down a little bit. Yeah. So that's the first part of it. Now you might have to practice that a little bit in the mirror, but remembering that I'm only, well, you only want to be photographing yourself from probably the top of your boobs up. Yeah. That's it. Head and shoulders. That's a headshot. No hands. I don't generally stick hands in my headshots because they're, again, a distraction, and all that sort of thinking pose and all that kind of stuff that people used to do. That's a little bit of a throwback to the 70s. But level of tilt. So really, really important. Gets rid of your double chins. Have your face flat towards the camera. So that's it. Level of tilt. Are any questions about level of tilt? Yeah. And again, obviously you adjust for you. If you don't have a lot of chins, well, then you don't have to push your face out as much. But if you've got a lot of chins, well, then you're going to have to go right out. Yeah. Any questions on level of tilt? No? Okay, cool. Okay, so you can see that chiseled looking jawline that she has there. And that's from pushing her face out a little bit and then tilting her head down towards the camera. Okay, level of focus. So as I said to you before, most of us have one eye bigger than the other. So it's about evening up those eyes. That's what I like to do. And I also like to have a squint. If you go into my portfolio on my website and you have a look at any of those images in my portfolio, you'll see that most of those people will give you the impression that they're looking at you. Yeah, I know women have been told for their whole life it's about big eyes, you should have big eyes. That's a beauty portrait. We're generally talking about a corporate headshot. Now, the idea behind a corporate headshot, I think, is to make you look confident and capable. Yeah, confident and capable to me is the most important thing. Yeah, you've got to look like you can do your job. Yeah, people say, what do you do? You're a headshot photographer. What do they do? I go, my job is to make you look like you can do your job. And that's really, really important. So you need your confidence and your capability come from your eyes. And that requires a tiny little bit of a squint. Yeah, and I can hear all you women groaning because I know you've been told your whole life, oh, it's about big eyes. It's about looking beautiful and having big eyes. Well, I poo-poo all that because this is not a beauty portrait. It's a corporate headshot. It's about making you look confident and capable. So there's a ligament under here. It's the same one we use when we wink. Now, I'm presupposing that you understand which of your eyes is bigger. Yeah. Now, what you can do is you can squint that eye, the bigger eye, more. So basically, all you're doing is you're evening them up and you're just giving the camera a little bit of a squint. Yeah. It's similar to, and when I'm in the studio and I'm talking to people, if they're struggling with it, what I do is I say, read the writing down the inside of my lens. Or alternatively, the other one I use quite often is if you've been to the optometrist and you're looking at his chart and you get to the bottom line and you're sort of like, is that a P or a D? It's kind of that squint you do when you're looking off into the distance and you're really focusing. But the idea is that people feel like when they're looking at your headshot, they feel like you're looking at them. They feel like you're focused on them. And that's really, really important because, again, remembering it's your potential clients who don't know you. They don't like, you know, people go, oh, yeah, my husband didn't like my headshot. Now, who cares? Your husband doesn't buy your stuff. Oh, my mum didn't think I looked smiley enough. Who cares? Your mum doesn't buy your stuff. Yeah. Your corporate headshot is about your potential clients that have got no clue who you are. Yeah, that's it. Does that make sense? I know, you know, I'm not trying to make you look like the husband of the year or the wife of the year or, you know, the father of the year. Yeah. So I actually have a catchphrase at the moment. Don't let your partner choose your corporate headshot because they're going to want to pick the shot that most makes you look like their partner. The big smiley, yeah, happy one. Yeah, she's fantastic mum and she's great in the house and she cleans and she, you know, she's a good coach and, you know, she loves me and, you know, we have such a great time together. I'm not trying to make you look like the mother of the year or the wife of the year. I'm trying to make you look like you're really, really good at your job because that's what your potential clients are looking for. They're not going through LinkedIn going, oh, I'm going to pick someone that looks like they're the mother of the year or they'd be really good fun. They're not looking for someone to go out and get drunk with next Tuesday. They're looking for somebody that's really, really good at your job. So I know that can sound a bit harsh, but it's the reality of having a corporate headshot. So looking confident and capable to me is the most important thing. Yeah, there's nothing more important. Again, as I've said, I'll reiterate, it's not about your personality. It's not about looking funny and happy, and unless it's relevant. Yeah. Now, if you're a comedian, yes, of course, looking funny and happy and a bit stupid is relevant. It makes sense. Yeah, it's like, you know, backgrounds, me having this background, and the background's relevant. I'm a photographer. Yeah, I have photography equipment. So people look at my image and they go, ah, he's in a photo studio. Oh, it makes sense. It's like people on LinkedIn. You see the CEO of the widget company holding a fish. It's like, well, it's not relevant, man. Unless you're a fisherman, it's not relevant. You see LinkedIn photos of people jumping out of an aeroplane. Well, unless you're a skydiving instructor, it's not relevant. So make your message relevant. And if it's about you and it's your business, and this is where people are sort of starting to finally get a bit of an angle on it, your business, small business, whether you're a coach, and I know there was a few coaches in there was a few hypnotherapists in there, you know, your business is about you helping people. And so people want to see you. They don't want to see your logo. They don't want to know what you're into. They want to know that you're really, really good at what it is that you do. So confidence and capability come from the eyes. And that's being able to do a little bit of a squint that just says, I'm focused on you. I'm focused on your potential clients. I hope that makes sense. Any questions about that before I move on? Comments?
Yeah, that's great, Brad. We've got lovely comments from Susan here saying fabulous, great distinction. I think that is excellent distinction, actually, and something to definitely be conscious of with the imaging that we're putting out there. What sort of image do we want to portray? Excellent. Good, good. So it sounds like it's making sense to somebody. All right, so we can see here, you know, someone that looks a little bit, eyes are zoned out, as opposed to someone that's like, you don't have to be so squinty that you look like you're stoned, but when you're looking squinty or you're making that squint, make sure it's coming from the bottom up. If you do top down, you will look a little bit sleepy. So it's got to come from that ligament under here, which somebody did tell me the name of it, but it's got about 58 letters in it, so I promptly forgot it. But there's a ligament under here. It's the same we use when we wink. Make sure that that's coming up. Yeah. All right. So you can see these images out and down. Yeah. Eyes slightly squinty. All right. Let's move on. Yeah. Wide-eyed and a bit zoned out. Interesting and interested is how I want to make people. Okay. Level of smile. This seems to get people in a bit of a pickle sometimes. Okay, so 4 things that dictate a person's level of smile: their face, their profession, their personality, and their mood. Okay, so let's talk about level of smile. Now, generally in a session, you will never, ever hear me say smile. I don't do it, yeah? Your level of smile is determined by these things: your face, your profession, your personality, or your mood. But everybody has what I call a range of smile, from nothing up to your biggest smiley smile. Yeah. So you've got to work out where is your best level of smile. And that will depend upon, again, what you do, what your message is, what's your purpose. Yeah. Now, again, if you're a business coach, do you really want to have a big smiley smile on your face? My personal opinion is I don't think so. And, you know, when we start talking about your face, that includes things like your teeth. Yeah. Now, if you've got bad teeth, you definitely don't want to have a big smiley smile. And in fact, I talk to people about their teeth in the session. Now, if you're an actor or a model, I would always be saying, show your teeth in at least one of your images, because casting directors they want to be looking at you going, oh, good, we can choose this person for a role, and we don't have to get their teeth fixed. But I think if you're a corporate, you don't necessarily have to have a big toothy smiley smile on your face. I love doing closed mouth smiles. And teaching people how to do closed mouth smiles is really cool, because looking like you're confident and capable, you can do that a little bit more easily if you've got a closed mouth smile. Now, okay, let's talk about smile. As I said, I'm not going to tell you to smile, because everybody has a range of smile, from nothing up to their biggest smiley smile. We have to work out
where is your best level of smile within your range? Yeah. Now, some people's range is from here to here. Some people's range is from here to here. It just depends on how big your smile is. Yeah. Now, Aldwyn uses her smile as part of her branding. So she asked me a lot of questions last time she saw my presentation about the smile, and I could tell that she didn't really disagree with me. But she uses her smile and her beautiful teeth as part of her brand, and it works for her. She's in media, she's putting herself out there. She's got a beautiful big smile, and it's part of her personality, and it works, and it's part of her branding. Whereas me, for example, I don't have those big beautiful teeth. I don't want to be like this. So I've got to work out where is my best level of smile. Now, I actually like having a closed mouth smile because I think it looks cooler. Guys my age want to look cool. So I like actually having my mouth closed a little bit, but it will depend on, again, coming back to your purpose. What do you want to say? I'm bright and happy and funny? Or do you want to say, hey, listen, shit, I'm really good. I'm a market leader. I'm the authority in my industry. So for me, if you're saying you're an authority in your industry and you're the best of the best, well, then you're probably just going to have a little bit less of a smile. Yeah. And of course, again, unless it's completely relevant, comedians, media personalities, big smiley smiles. Yeah, it's got to work. Okay, so level of smile. So how do I get that? Well, I'm not going to tell you to smile. I'm going to make you smile. Yeah. So there's three main reasons why you smile. You see, you hear, or you think something funny. It's not rocket science. It's pretty straightforward. Let's imagine that happens and your face lights up. Now, your face lights up to here and you've got this big smile on your face. Now, what happens? It's a real smile because it's thought-based. It comes from in here. It's not you just going like this, because I don't do fake smiles. Yeah. So it's thought-based. It comes from in here. Yeah. Now, eventually that thought fades away. Now, what should happen is your face should relax back down through your smile. So then what happens is I shoot you here, I shoot you here, I shoot you here, and I shoot you here. Now, I must stop there. I'm making hand signals. Are people seeing my hand signals on my head? Yeah. I shoot you here, I shoot you here, shoot you here. So on my screen, I shoot tethered. Now, shooting tethered means that I shoot into a big 35-inch screen, which means that in my studio, your head is massive. It's not a little tiny thing on the back of my camera. It's big. So then I'm very much into action learning. So my master's degree was in action learning. So we shoot a few, we come out, we have a look at it, and you go, that's what it looks like when I do that with my eyes, or that's what it looks like when I do that with my smile. So it's very much a learning process. It's a step-by-step process, and you learn. And if you're shooting your own selfie, well, then what you need to do is probably take some shots of you wide-eyed as you can possibly do, and then experiment with your level of squint. Same with your level of smile. You might have to experiment a little bit, particularly if you're taking a selfie. But certainly what I do with people is I make them smile and then shoot them all at their different smiley levels as their smile fades away. So basically what that means, we're going to get a big smiley smile. We're probably going to get a 3/4 length smile. We're going to get a half smile. We're going to get a quarter smile, and we're going to get a closed mouth smile. What we do then is, again, we look at it on the big screen and we say, okay, well, we think, or together we think, well, that quarter smile image, yeah, or that, some people sometimes it's a half smile image, quarter smile, or closed mouth smile makes you look the best, yeah, or you think to yourself, that makes me look the best. That's the message that I want to send to my potential clients, yeah. Half smile, quarter smile, closed mouth smile could be it. Again, you've all got different professions and different industries. You're going to have to make that call. But that's one of the things so then, okay, once we understand, okay, quarter smile, how do we get that to make it look natural? So basically you join, again, if you're in front of me, you're in a roller coaster, big smile, relax, big smile, relax. Now, one of the things that I have to do is work out what the hell am I going to say to you to actually make you smile? It's probably the toughest gig that I have. I know for most people, I'm going to be able to make them look really, really good. Yeah. The toughest gig I have is going, what am I going to say to you to make you smile? Now I have to work that out. Yeah. That's one of my roles, is to work out, okay, what am I going to say to Paul if Paul's standing in front of me to actually make him smile? Yeah. It might be something stupid. It might be something funny. It might be something ridiculous. Yeah. But often just the art of squinting and putting your head out towards the camera is enough often to make people smile. Yeah. So, but we have to work it out, because I'm not going to tell you to smile, because if I tell you to smile, most people are going to go the big fake-o smiley smile. Yeah. Now, bit of a tip. If you're doing a selfie, then you're going to have to come up with some thoughts in your own brain that make you smile. Yeah. Now that might be a little bit difficult, but it's relevant for actors. Actors have thoughts in their brain for the emotions that they want to show on their face. So if they need to look sad, they're going to start thinking sad. If they need to look smiley and happy, well, they're going to start thinking smiley and happy. Yeah. So if you're doing a selfie in your own, office or wherever it might be, well, you're going to have to work out, how do I get past that fake smile? How do I get a real smile when I'm sitting there by myself? Yeah. And that comes from in here. It's a thought process. So it's about getting your head in the right position and then having a thought that actually makes you smile. Yeah. I hope that makes sense. Any questions about smiling? Aldwyn, because I know you had some really good points last time when we were talking about this with Nick's presentation, because you are a natural smiler and your brand is built around your smiling and your beautiful teeth. So if you've got anything to add there, jump in.
Yes, and I must say that the whole media queen image is larger than life, and it is in a way it's kind of taking the piss out of the royal family, because I'm not really into royalty at all. But what it's saying is that anyone can step up with what they do. You don't have to be born into royalty to do that. So it's about actually shining bright. My whole message is shine bright and light up those around you, right? So it is larger than life, celebrating life and making the most of life and celebrating uniqueness. For me, my uniqueness is my smile and my hair. So I've caricaturized that, I guess, to be memorable, because in branding, like I think of I Dream of Jeannie as one of the favorite shows I used to love in the 70s. I Dream of Jeannie, with the whole cartoon, the dun, 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 right? So the cartoons are memorable. So for me, I've gone above and beyond with my branding and my imaging, focusing on the smile, because that is unique to me. So it's not going to be the same for everyone, but it's also what the smile represents. It's not just that I'm known for my smile and my hair. It's that it's representing making the most of life as well.
And it's relevant to what you do, which is really, really important.
Yes, which is putting yourself out there, right? Yeah.
Again, I think if you're a business coach, your goal in your personal branding probably shouldn't be to show my personality. Again, these are all my opinions. If you're to the contrary and you believe something different, well, that's fine, and that's cool. We move on. But certainly for me, most of the corporates that I deal with, whether they're lawyers or accountants or business coaches or whatever they might do, I feel most important thing is to make them look like they're really good at their job first. And for most people, that comes down to making them look confident and capable. Yeah. So, as I said, I may have said before, being photogenic is not necessarily being about being good looking. It's about knowing how to look good in your image. Yeah. And again, actors are a classic example, because, there's a lot of actors out there, the Brad Pitts and the Angelina Jolie's aside, there's a lot of actors out there that are not that flash looking, aesthetically, but geez, they always look good in their photos because they know about their own face. And that's really, really important. that you start to understand your own face, how we get rid of our double chins, how to make ourselves look a little bit more confident with a little bit of a squint, and what is our best level of smile, yeah, and how do we get there from our thought process. So the last two things that I'm going to talk about are turning and tilting. Yeah, so again, turning is a little bit about, and I did mention before the rule of thirds and the golden ratio, is about doing little tiny turns to find our best ratio for our face. Now that can be little tiny turn one way or the other. Yeah. So during a session, we'll do little tiny turns. It's not big turns like this or big turns like that, just little tiny turns. We're just balancing up our symmetry. That's all we're doing. We find that the Angelina Jolies and the Brad Pitts of the world and the Kate Mosses of the world, we look at them and we go, oh God, they're so beautiful, but they're symmetrical. Most of us are not symmetrical, so we have to find our best symmetry from our faces. Yeah. So that's the first part. So that's just little tiny turns. Yeah. And again, if you're doing selfies, you might have to spend an hour, you know, and I know that sounds like a long time, but you might just have to take a lot of photographs of yourself until you look at it and you go, oh, okay, that's actually my best side. I change people's best side all the time. They come in and they go, oh, this is my best side. And I go, well, actually, you put it up on the big screen, they go, oh, my other side's better. Oh, no. Oh, you know, and people wonder why they've never looked good in any photographs for their whole life, because all of a sudden they discover, oh, my other side actually looks better. Yeah. So, so some people are ambifacial. I talk about being ambifacial. What does that mean? Well, that means that some people can look good from that side and they can look good from that side. Yeah. Or they can look good from straight ahead, because there's really only three sides. It's straight ahead, left side, right side, shown to the camera. So changing somebody's side is quite funny, and they all of a sudden they're changing their hairstyle and they're taking their part from one side of their face to the other and all sorts of stuff. But okay, so that's all. So the next one now, Paul, don't you worry about this one too much, mate, but this is for the ladies in the audience. Yeah. If you don't remember anything from my chat today and you think, oh, Brad's a buffet, he talks too much. If you don't remember anything else, remember this: never ever tilt your head towards a photographer. Yeah, I see this all the time, particularly with young girls. They're tilting their head towards a camera doing this stuff. Yeah, and all that does is give you 58 lines in here. Yeah, so if you're standing that way, you tilt your head slightly away from the photographer. Yeah, because what that does, it stretches your neck. It'll hopefully iron out any wrinkles you might have in here. The other thing it also does, and this is interesting when you add it to your squinting your eyes, where you're already showing, and we come back to our purpose. Our purpose is to impress the crap out of our potential clients. Our potential clients already think, because of our squint, our slight squint, that we're focusing on them. Now what we're doing is we're giving somebody our best ear. Now they're thinking, not only is that person focusing on me with my eyes, with their eyes, but they're also giving me their best ear. So all of a sudden now they're looking at me, they're focusing, but they're also listening to me. So from you could say a body language perspective, I tend to call it a head language, because I'm really only dealing from the boobs up. But that can be really, but getting back to the aesthetically look of it, it's stretching, making your neck look longer, getting rid of any wrinkles that might pop up when you do that with your head. But it's also giving that person that little bit of a vibe that you're listening to them as well. Does that make sense? So we've got a turn, which we're balancing up our symmetry, and a tilt, which is stretching our neck and making our necks look longer.
Sophia's just asked, any tips if you wear glasses? Good question.
Love wearing glasses. If you wear glasses, keep your glasses on. I actually have fake glasses here in the studio, because I shoot a lot of young real estate agents. Young real estate agents, and they have the hair and they have the makeup and they have the boobs and they have the whole thing going on. And they might be 27, 26, and I'll go to them, you've got a couple of really big problems. And they go, what's that? And I'll go, you're young and you're pretty. And they'll go, what do you mean? I've got 4 million Instagram followers. I go, people are not looking for the youngest, prettiest real estate agent. They're not. They're just simply not. They're not looking for the youngest, prettiest business coach. They're not looking for the youngest, prettiest lawyer. They're looking for the best one. So I don't know about most of you guys. Most of you guys are not going to say as old as me, but I'm 57. So I feel like I was born in a generation that said if you wore glasses, you were instantly smarter than everybody else. Yeah, now I don't know how true that is, but certainly from an image perspective, I've got fake glasses in here that I put on people just to give them that little bit of an edge, because you look at somebody and you go, oh, they're intelligent. They've got that librarian sort of a look about them. Yeah, so I love glasses. Couple of struggles I have with glasses obviously is lighting and keeping the flash out of the front of your glass. It blotches out your eyes. Now, if you're doing selfies, this is a tip for getting rid of that. What you do is you tilt your glasses slightly down, because what's happening is that light, whatever the light source is, it's shining, the light source is hitting the glass and it's coming straight back into the lens. Yeah. And that's why often you get a big, light globule in the front of your glasses there. So if you tilt them, what will happen is the light will hit those glasses and hopefully go down out of the range of the lens. Yeah, does that make sense? The other thing you can do, and I wouldn't advise this at home, but you can do it, is simply pop the glass out of your lens frames and take the glass out and just shoot with your frames on. Now, the fake glasses I have in here are just empty frames that I stick on people that I feel like just need to give themselves a different look. Now, I hear people out there going, oh yeah, but I don't normally wear glasses. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Like, I've never heard of anyone that puts on glasses in a headshot and then someone meets them in person and goes, oh, you don't really wear glasses. Well, what are you trying to prove? It doesn't happen. But like I said, I was born in a generation that said if you wore glasses, you were instantly smarter than everybody else. So the coating that they put on glasses now for computers can play a little bit of havoc with lights. Now, aside from that, I did read a report that came out that said that that coating, that blue light stuff or whatever it's called that they put on people's glasses for computer screens, has been shown to have absolutely no medical relevance whatsoever. Now, I'm not a medical scientist, so I'm not going to dispute it, but that was just what I read. Anyway, if you've got a coating on your glasses, be careful of those. So, but that's it, turning and tilting. So my 5 steps, what are they? Jawline, this one, eyes, the squint, yeah, the mouth, the smile. Work out your level of smile. Now, it might be a closed mouth smile. Now, bit of a tip for a closed mouth smile. If you like closing your mouth when you smile in your headshots, be careful of this. What happens if you like closing your mouth is that because you're thinking, I'm going to close my mouth, you're going to squeeze your lips together. So you end up doing this. Yeah. And then you think, oh, but I'm going to smile. So you go, yeah. So the idea is to have your lips barely touching. Yeah. And you can also have just a little tiny bit of pressure. Like I say to people, you can go from serial killer to warm and approachable. And all you've done is move your mouth that much. It's barely perceptible, but it doesn't need to have much of a smile. Yeah. You can still look warm and approachable. Yeah. So we want confident eyes, warm and approachable mouth are the main things. Does that make sense before I click on? So where does your move come from? It comes from your thoughts. Yeah. What are you thinking? Yeah. So I know there was a photographer out there. She needs to be able to I think it was a she. It was a she, wasn't she? Said she was a photographer, or said she likes taking photographs of her husband or something. I think it was. Set the mood, give some energy. Yeah. Closed mouth, small smile, slightly open, a big smile. So you've got to work out for yourself, where do you sit in that range of smile, and work it out for yourself. But then it's been able to do it. Now, if you notice this guy up here in the corner, he's got a closed mouth smile. It's quite small. He hasn't got his lips pressed together. Yeah, his lips are barely touching, and he hasn't got a huge smile on his face. Yeah, because for me, he doesn't need to have one. I forget what he does now. He's a school book seller. He travels around to lots of different primary schools and sells them school books, yeah, and programs for kids and all that kind of stuff. So he's not trying to say I'm the smiliest school book seller in the whole world. His market is teachers and school directors and, you know, educators. So he's not trying to say I'm the smiliest person in the whole world. Yeah. So think about your profession, what it is that you do, your purpose, what do you want to say? Okay. Any questions about any of that sort of stuff? I'm not sure how we are for time, Aldwyn.
We've gone just a little bit over.
A little bit over?
Okay.
All right.
That's okay. We're actually 40 minutes over, but that's okay. We've had some people who've been able to stay, which is awesome, and some have had to leave. And if, you know, for those that have had to leave, we have been streaming, of course, into the Mass Media Tribe group in Facebook. But it's been fascinating, Brad. I could listen to you all day. Absolutely loved it. And I love the bit about glasses particularly. And I actually went and just found some glasses which I thought might be good for my branding. There's this one here, and then
cool.
I also found this one here as well for those feeling a bit tropical. So there you go. But I don't think that's what you mean with looking intelligent. I don't think either of those make me look intelligent. So, however, this is something to consider.
Do these make me look more intelligent?
Yeah, they do actually, Brad.
Or I can go these ones.
They do. Amazing.
What else have we got?
That's awesome. Any questions for Brad? We've got giveaways coming up very shortly. We are going to wrap up. We're not going to go all day here as much as I'd love to. We will be wrapping up shortly. So,
right, any questions about any of that stuff?
Barbara says, thank you. Also informative and wonderful. Thank you, Barbara. Glad you enjoyed it. Thanks for staying with us so late too, Barbara. I think it's past midnight for her over in Florida. So I really appreciate you being
long
here.
Day. I can take it off the calendar from 12 to 2 tomorrow, though.
Hold on, Barbara.
Oh, she thought it was her time, 12 till 2. Okay, got it. Yes, you can take that off the calendar. Sandra says, thanks, great tips. Excellent. What did we get from that? There's so much gold in that presentation. What are some things that we got? What did we learn? Any questions for Brad before we go to the giveaways? Any questions, comments? Just unmute yourself. Susan, you have a question?
Yeah, hi. I'm a masked bandit. I've got to keep moving because the police pulled me over. So yeah, no questions other than thank you so much, Brad. That was really great. Your 5 tips were fabulous, and just the degree of detail you went into. I feel if you're a fine artist, I feel as if you are actually helping us paint our image through the knowledge that you gave us today. So just big heartfelt thanks.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Susan. That's great. And can you please stop the share there, Brad? Is that the last of your slides, or is there any more? That's last? Okay, great. Just so we can see everyone's faces. Beautiful.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you, Brad. That was amazing. I love that presentation. Thank you so much. I'm sure we all agree it was absolutely brilliant. So many great comments coming in. Elena, thank you, Brad. Great information. Just need to practice, find the right pose. Yes. And it's interesting, just those slight little tweaks can make all the difference, can't they?
You bet.
So much gold, Lorna. We'll have to check myself out in the mirror. Thank you so much. Oh, fantastic. And look, all photographers have got their own style as well. Like I must say, you know, not everything Brad and I will agree on and we'll do the same when we're taking photos, and that's okay. You know, everyone has their own way of doing things. Although, you know, I must say I love a lot of what you're sharing there, Brad. And I remember what I was saying about the smile last time too, because I got some headshots done for some acting work, and because I had no photos of me not smiling. And for acting, what they were saying with this particular acting agency is they wanted posted photos of people not smiling so they could picture them in different roles if you're an actor. So that's what I heard from one agency, but that's not necessarily the same for all agencies either, right? Some of them do use photos of actors smiling as well.
I think one of the things that we've got to, I suppose, take on board some of the stuff that we learn from actors and certainly models. But if you're an actor, and I get actors all the time that come in here, they're choosing somewhere, sometimes in the vicinity of 15 to 20 images, because they need to show a range. So if they're putting their images out there, and let's think about the fact that they're putting their images out there and casting directors are coming in and looking at their imagery going, they don't really know what the role is. So they want to be able to portray themselves as the funny guy or the funny girl, the girl next door, the sexy girl, what else? The sad girl, the bitchy girl. So they've got to cover that range of different expressions. Whereas for corporates, really what we're trying to do is find one look that says, this is what I want to say to my potential client. And what does that look mean? What does it say? Well, for me, like I said, 5 things: confident and capable. They're the 2 most important things. Professional. So professional can incorporate what you wear. And funnily enough, I didn't get any questions about what should I wear, which is normally the first question that most people ask me. But the last 2 are warm and approachable. Yeah, I don't want to make you look like a serial killer, and you shouldn't be looking sad and grumpy. I think you've still got to have a little bit of warmth and approachability, a little tiny bit of likability factor, but remembering that it's not all about your personality unless it's directly relevant to what you do. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense.
Great point, because often, with a lot of corporate shots you see on LinkedIn, for example, a lot of people just look miserable, and I mean, a lot of them are not approachable. And so I think there's a really fine line between, a smile where you look approachable and confident and competent without being arrogant. It really is, there's some slight subtleties there.
You bet. And little tiny movements sometimes, whether it's with the eyes or the mouth or just a little shift of the head, all sorts of things will tilt. Some people are doing this to try to get rid of their chins, and it just doesn't work. So, but yeah, you pretty much, you've got to practice. If you go to a professional photographer, he should be stepping you through these things. Now, historically, unfortunately, most photographers, not all of them, but most of them, historically, you go in there for a headshot and it's 10 minutes, and all they're going to do is they're going to stand you up against the wall and go, smile. And they're going to take 10 shots, and you're going to pick the least worst shot. Yeah. And that's not where we want to be. I run workshops because I'm trying to tell photographers, you need to learn how to make these people look cool. You need to learn how to make them look good so that they can brand themselves, so that they can go on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and websites and brochures and do all that personal branding stuff. But most people don't do it because they go, I don't want to put that photo out there. It's terrible. Yeah. Well, you don't get out of my studio unless you're happy with the images that I shoot, because it just, I don't want you to not feel good about your imagery, because if you don't feel good about your headshot, you're not going to put it on LinkedIn, and you're not going to certainly send it to your potential client base and go, this is me, I'm good at this, come and talk to me, if you don't feel confident about your headshot. So you need to be able to choose a competent headshot photographer, and do that by looking at their portfolio and looking at the sort of work that they do. And as Aldwyn said, lots of photographers have a different style. I have a style, and you see it in the way that I shoot people. Now you might look at it and go, mate, I don't really like it, I want a different thing. That's fine. I'm a big boy. But look at their style. I get surprised at how many people come into the studio and have never even looked at my website. And don't get me wrong, I love my website, it looks fantastic. But I go, how could you book a photographer and not go and look at the images on his website? It just kind of blows me away. I don't know. I don't know. Like if they've been to Facebook or Instagram, and that's fine, but you'd certainly go and look at people's website. And the first thing people do, and understand this about your website if you have them, the second most visited page after the landing page on any website is your About Us page. And if you've got a good photograph on your About Us page, people are 86% more likely to look at the rest of your website. So I don't know, pretty good stats on that. But, you know, have a think about your photographer. It doesn't matter who it is. Making sure that if you understand, if they don't know what they're doing, at least you do, and you can push your face out towards the screen and ask the photographer, how much are you getting in? Now, I don't need a half a body shot. Yeah. I want a head and shoulders shot. You only need this much because, as I said, your body shapes are relevant.
Yes, and I must say credence to all the, I'd say, old school photographers that actually learned how to take photos correctly with the film days. You had to actually know how to take a photo back then, right? Back in the day. And don't want to give away our ages here, Brad. However, you know, nowadays, just about everyone thinks they're a photographer with a little snappy tom, right? With a little cameras. And it is amazing what you can do with the little cameras. However, what's your opinion on that? The SLR camera versus, there you go. That's the classic.
This is my new favorite camera. Yeah, and it's 50 years old. It's nearly as old as me. I bought it brand new. Now, it'd been sitting in a woman's garage. Her husband used to import these twin lens reflex cameras into Australia from China. And he passed away some years ago and asked her son-in-law, who's an Aussie guy, to clean out the garage. Now he found boxes and boxes of these. So I actually took this thing out of the plastic wrapper. Unbelievable. So film is making a big resurgence at the moment. Kodak have come out of receivership and back going gangbusters. This is what they call a medium format camera. It's a film camera. I love it. It's a little bit more expensive, but it really, really slows me down in the studio. Obviously, for my paying clients, I don't shoot your headshots on this, but I am creating a lot of fine art that I'll use for exhibitions and those types of things because the images you get from it are amazing. But so if you've got an iPhone, really important that your focal plane, which is the camera, I suppose, and the flatness of the camera is flat. Now you can get a little selfie stick, put it on get it on the self timer is a beautiful thing. And if you work out how to do the self timer, have it on 3 seconds or 5 seconds. So you can get your head into the right position for you, and then the thing's going to go off, and get that little smile, practice your smiles. Is it big? Are you a big smiley person? Are you a bit smaller? Are you smaller? Closed mouth smiles. Work it out. And if you're going to do it yourself, you actually have to spend some time doing it. It's like anything. You've got to put the hard yards in. You've got to do the work. And, you know, it's Zoom, being on Zoom. Work it out. What do I have to do to make my image look better on Zoom? You know, Aldwyn's a classic example. She looks amazing. She's got the blue background behind her. Her head's positioned in the right position in the frame. There's no distractions. You can see her. So work out what you need to do to make your head look better in a Zoom meeting. And that will carry over onto, and I noticed some of you actually have adjusted your screens, which is really cool.
Yes, brilliant. Fantastic presentation. Fantastic presentation, Brad. We could chat all day. Any final questions for Brad before we come to the giveaways? And Brad does have a giveaway here today too, don't you, Brad?
I do. So excellent. I shoot a lot of wave art. So I have this image. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that, but that's 36 by 24. It's a shot. It's probably my best, not my best shot, but one of my favorite shots. Generally my favorite shot is one of my last shots. So that is, it's in a couple of galleries around the country at the moment, but I'm going to give that away to whoever. I don't know how you're going to select a winner, Aldwyn.
Well, I've got everyone's names in here in the wheel of names, which I learned from the amazing Nick Cree. So everyone's names are in here. That is a fantastic prize. What would that be worth, would you say, Brad?
I sell those for $450.
Wow, what an amazing prize. Well, that is brilliant. Paul's saying, really appreciate the great info. He got heaps of good stuff. Thank you so much. Took lots of notes. Beautiful, Paul. All right, well, we're almost wrapping up. Thank you so much for staying back, for everyone who has. So for the winner of that prize, and we have other prizes coming up, the winner is, who wants to win that one? That's amazing, generous offer. Thank you so much, Brad, for that. And the winner is Julie. Congratulations, Julie. You've won that amazing prize worth $450 from Brad. That is fantastic.
There she is up there. Hi, Julie. So the best way to do this would be to, are you Gold Coast? I think you are, aren't you? Okay.
Yes.
So shoot me an email, brad@theheadshotguys.com.au, and tell me that you're the winner. Now we can either post that out to you, or you can even pick it up if you wanted to. Somehow, but we'll get it to you. We'll get it to you somehow.
So Julie's on the north end of the coast, and Brad, you're on the south end. So not too far though, probably half-hour drive or so. So
I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle.
Okay, in
Robina.
the middle. Okay. Oh, Robina, yeah, middle-ish, yeah. I say south because I'm at Southport, which is on the north side. It's very confusing.
It can be, yes, it can be.
Fantastic. And we also have today 2 tickets to the Free Publicity Secrets Masterclass coming up on August 18. So the winner of the first one of that is, okay, the first prize goes to Paul. Paul, you've actually attended before. So if you like, you could win the prize by, Virginia had to leave earlier, but Virginia's offered a B1G1 book as a prize. So if you like, you can have the B1G1 book.
Yeah, that
Paul?
sounds great.
Yep. Okay, great. All right. Well, we'll get you that one because I know you've attended before. You're welcome to come back, of course, to a workshop. Actually, there is new information in this one. You wouldn't have seen the last one. So you're welcome to come as well if you like. So
thank you, Aldwyn.
Awesome. All right. Congratulations. And the next one goes to, who wants to win one of these? Free Publicity Secrets Masterclass, 4 hours. Learn how to get free publicity. And Anna, you have won. Congratulations. Is Anna still with us? Anna?
Yeah.
Yes. Congratulations, Anna. Now, did you attend? Now, Brett attended one. Did you have seen the last one I did?
Oh, actually, I think I might have. Watched that one. Yes.
Okay.
4 hours.
Yes. Yes. So you could.
So I could pass it on to someone else. Yeah.
Yeah, or you can gift it to someone if you like. You can gift one to someone you know if you like to. And then what I can do for you, if you like, I can give you a free media strategy session if you'd like instead. Not sure, as a prize, so we can have a chat about your media. All right, great. So we'll give you that. So you've got something to go away with, and we'll give another one of those away. And the winner is Sofia. Sofia, congratulations. You have won. Just reach out to me on social media.
Thank you.
Sofia, Free Publicity Secrets Masterclass coming up August 18, 6 till 10 p.m. Now, anyone else want to offer any prizes today while we're here? Anyone else? Yes, Sandra, what would you like to offer? Just unmute yourself.
Hi, yeah, I'd like to offer a free discovery call with me.
Fantastic. Free discovery call. And what is the value of that call?
$250.
Excellent. Okay. And what do they get from the discovery call?
Well, we just have a chat about how things are going for them and how I can help, what their next steps will be.
Awesome. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Sandra. Session with Sandra, who's amazing. She does hypnotherapy and coaching. And the winner is Elena. Is Elena still here? Elena? She's not, you have to be in the Zoom room to win. She is here. Elena?
Hi.
Congratulations. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Fantastic. So you and Sandra can connect on that one. Fantastic. Any other prizes anyone like to offer for today? Any other prizes? Yes, Julie. Just unmute yourself.
Yes, I will offer an Oracle session, coaching session.
Okay, Oracle coaching session.
Yeah, it's worth $165 for an hour.
Wonderful. Oracle coaching session with Julie. She's amazing. And
Just
that could be done
coaching, actually.
That could be on Zoom or in person, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
well, it'll be Messenger, actually.
Message. Okay, so through the internet or through person. And the winner is Barbara from Florida. Well done. Congratulations, Barbara. And you know, she stayed up so late. It's wonderful. Thank you so much, Barbara.
Hope she can connect with me. Can she connect through Facebook or Messenger with me?
Yes, yeah. Or
Julie
pop your
Hogan.
links into the chat here. Make sure you save the chat too if you're going to leave today, because we've got lots of gold in the chat there today. So you can save the chat down the bottom. Does everyone know how to save the chat? You go to the little chat where you go to type a message and you just go to the right. There's 3 little dots, and you go to the 3 little dots next to where it says to everyone or to someone's name. And the 3 little dots there, you can just click on that and go save chat. Okay, so maybe pop your links in the chat for those to connect with each other, and I will be tagging you on social media as well. So wonderful. Thank you so much for that generous donation there. Any other prizes today before we finalize? I'll give you some dates of upcoming events too coming up. Any other final prizes anyone like to donate? Sophia, is that your hand up there wanting to say something?
Yes, Aldwyn, yeah, well, I can donate a 12-month membership to our Sacred Feminine community.
Wow, fantastic. And what's the value of that?
That's $120.
$120, 12-month membership to our Sacred Feminine community with Sophia. Beautiful. Thank you so much for that generous prize. And the winner is Susan Wanmer. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Susan, congratulations. Is Susan here? Susan here, I know she was running around with a mask on before. Is she there? Susan, no, she's not there. Is she not there? No, I can't see her. Well, that means we'll need to redraw. Oh, okay. Well, got to be in it to win it. I know we've gone over time, but I appreciate you guys staying on. Lorna, the prize goes to Lorna. Congratulations. You've won that membership with Sophia. Congratulations. Excellent. All right. Any final prizes from our amazing people in the Zoom room here?
I could donate an hour of counseling. I guess we could do it, figure out Zoom or something.
Right. An hour of counseling with Barbara. What's the value of that, Barbara?
250.
250. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Such a generous prize. I love the generosity of people here. Thank you so much. And the prize goes to Alison Ritchie. There's Alison here. Alison. Oh, I can't see Alison. Has she dropped off? Alison's not here. Okay. All right. We redraw for the session with Barbara. This could be everyone's a winner baby soon. And the prize goes to, oh, it's right. Oh, it goes to me. Oh, wow. Congratulations to me. Well, I'll have to say yes to that. Thank you very much. And I'll remove myself. And then now for everyone else who's still here, any other prizes? Actually, final prizes, final chance for prizes. Any other prizes anyone want to donate? No? Okay. For anyone who hasn't won a prize, I'm happy to offer you a ticket to my free Publicity Secrets Masterclass. Okay. So then that way everyone's a winner, baby, who was on the Zoom. Okay. So you can come and attend. Just let me know if you want to attend and I'll send you the Zoom link so you don't need to pay the $97 for that coming up. So I'll donate that. I'll stop the share now. Thank you so much to all our generous donors here today. Please do connect with the others here. I'll just work out how to stop this share. Stop the share. Have I stopped the share? Can you see my screen still or not?
Yes.
Oh, you can see the screen. Okay, I'm just trying to work out how to stop that. Let's just, oh, we don't want to take that off. Stop share. There it is. There it is. There's the little red button. Okay, great. Oh, fantastic. Navigating the Zoom room. All right. Well, it's been an absolutely wonderful session here today. I must say we've got some awesome events also coming up. Future Mass Media Tribe events, just very quickly. Dates for your diary. We have not announced this online yet, so you're hearing it here first. We have our next September Mass Media Tribe event with September Smith from Canada, and she's going to talk about podcast guesting for PR, profit and profiles. September 8 from noon till 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So this exact time, we may go a little bit over with September Smith. So that's September 8 from noon till 2 p.m. podcast guesting for PR, profit and profile with September Smith, who is awesome. I did an interview with her about podcasting actually on Media Queen TV, which you can also check out. And then for October, our October date is October 6th. We have also from noon till 2 p.m. Jeff Harrison is a good friend of mine who is extraordinary. He's a TV and film production guy. He's the manager of Ski TV International. He's been in the media business for a long time. He was in the Hall of Fame in radio in Melbourne, and he's living nowadays in Holland. And he's going to talk about streaming media, the future of global broadcasting. So that's going to be a really interesting one as well. October 6th from noon till 2 p.m. So same time. And the reason we're doing it this time is because it works better with people from other parts of the world. And the reason we changed it today with Brad is because tonight we had the Speakers Tribe Queensland event, which clashed with our time. And as one of the leaders of Speakers Tribe Queensland, it was important that I be at that meeting. So that's why we changed today's time. But if you prefer the noon time, as opposed to normally we do 7 till 9 p.m. at night time, if you prefer daytime, actually, can I just see a show of hands? Who prefers this time to say nighttime? Show of hands. Okay, okay, well, there you go. Maybe that's the way we'll go moving forward then, is we keep it to a noon slot rather than a nighttime event. That would be fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. Please do save the chat before we go. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, Brad, for presenting. And if people want to work
guys,
with you,
hopefully that was helpful.
If people want to work with you, Brad, where can they find you? Where's the best place?
Best place is theheadshotguys.com.au, our website.
Okay,
Facebook, I'm Brad Delaney, or the Headshot Guys. I've got a few different pages there. Bradkay.com.au is my mother website, but the Headshot Guys, if you make sure it's guys with an S, you'll find me, .com.au.
Beautiful. Fantastic, Brad. Thank you so much. Much gratitude, much love to all of you. Please do join us in the Global Good News Challenge. You've got till Monday to do that for those who want to share gratitude, good news, and have a go at this selfie video business. We didn't really get too much into that today, but you've had some great tips now on how to look good on camera. So, so hopefully you'll put some of that in practice when you do your videos. And I look forward to seeing you at the next event. Please stay connected on the Mass Media Tribe group. Save the chat. I'll stop the recording now and just stay on a little bit longer if you want to save the chat, if you haven't done that yet. Okay, I'll pause, stop the recording there. Okay.
Save the chat.
And I will just stop the live stream as well. Thanks to everyone for watching.